Assemble the accused! Bear witness to their trials. The time of the Inquisition is now at hand. Putting pop culture to the rack, the Inquisition calls to account the events of the week, rooting out heresy wherever it is found. I am Grand Inquisitor Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and joining me for tonight's torture is Nerdrotic Channel's Grand Inquisitor, Gary Beekler. Gary, it is good to see you, my friend. How are you tonight?
I am very good. It's good to see you too. Back at it on the Inquisition, one of my favorite shows, birthed out of the disaster that was Game of Thrones. And well, there have been so many since then. Maybe not as big, but well, I don't know. Star Wars was pretty bad.
Star Wars was pretty bad, but you know, none of them had quite as steep a disappointment curve. You know, the fact of the matter is that we can still go back and look at Star Wars. We can still even go back and look at old Star Trek, even old Doctor Who. But what we can't ever do again is go back and watch Game of Thrones, because they literally ripped the guts out of it. You know, it just runs into a cul-de-sac of muh and suck. And why go down that sad, lonely road again? You know, all the little promises, all the wonderful moments of excellence, you know how they pay off, and they don't really pay off, and it's just a complete disaster, man.
Oh, I keep finding things that they forgot, right? I was watching somebody else's video and they pointed, I think it was Alt Shift X or something like that, but they pointed out that, remember, Tyrion and Varys had a conversation, I think it was in season 6, about like, who is the Harpy? Who is the Harpy? And they never told you who the Harpy was.
Yeah, like, no,
that's think about that. And they never told you who the Harpy was.
That's true. Maybe the Harpy was the Hurley bird from Lost. That, like, do you remember that? Glided over Hurley and said, Hurley.
Yes.
But they never bothered to explain shit. Like, never. They don't. Yeah, they just threw out shit. They just threw out random shit. It's so easy to be creative and come up with intriguing plot points when you never have any intention of actually resolving them. Shit, it could be anything. It could be anything, Gary.
Can we mystery box a podcast, like start conversations and then just never finish them? Maybe.
I think sure. If we were in Bad Robot, I think that's a job requirement. I think we have to do that contractually.
Welcome again, everyone. So yeah, we got to talk. We're going to talk about Lord of the Rings. We're going to talk about Disney's really bad week. God, it was 4 or 5 things, I think. Possibly banned in China, loss of revenue, slowing of subscribers. Gina Carano had a big win with her ratings. Falcon and Winter Soldier being like a big nothing. They keep like the Nielsen's came out and said it was the #1 show. That's from smart TVs. That's like a minute percentage of what people are watching streaming. And I'm sure it was probably the most watched show, just nobody cared afterwards, to the point where they're surprised that more people aren't complaining about Black Falcon. It's like nobody cares about Black Falcon. It's of course they were going to do it. We knew they were going to do it from the comics, and they did it. And okay, fine. I mean, like,
well, it's even worse. It's even worse than that, man. I mean, not only do they not care about Black Falcon, they don't really care about Falcon anymore. They don't really care about Winter Soldier. I don't really care about Wanda anymore. I like the Vision still, but ultimately I have come away from each of these series less enthused than when I went in.
Yep.
And it hasn't been a massive, precipitous, like apocalyptic loss of interest. It's been a slow but steady and steepening grade curve down towards oblivion. I just have a real hard time caring at all about what's coming. You know, it's like Loki's coming. Okay, when? I don't know. Who cares? Whenever.
Yeah,
whenever it comes. I don't know. I don't really. You know, Black Widow. I understand Black Widow is gonna theoretically come out soon. I don't know when. I don't care. I don't even know what day of the week Bad Batch comes on, and I'm watching it. You know, and I mean. It's good. I mean, it's good, but you know, I was telling you before we started here, Gary, that structurally it's a little transparent, and it's getting more and more troubling because basically Omega, as she calls herself, because she's a real Kiwi, is Baby Yoda. I mean, it's the exact same story function as Yoda, to give a little bit of cuteness, a little bit of relief. I think she's going to wind up being important somehow, maybe. I don't know. But she's there to be cute and to humanize these warriors, just like Mandalorian got humanized with Baby Yoda, and now this is a complete imitation. It's really formula. It's formulaic, and that's really the only complaint I have about the show. Is it's just so glaringly obvious that she's Baby Yoda, but otherwise it's a pretty good show, and I just hope they'll kind of get off that kick and just let the boys be the boys and let it happen. But I mean, it's turning them all into, basically it's like fucking 5 men and a baby. That's what it is. It's 5 men and a baby with some guns. That's basically it. And it gets the soft, touchy feely stuff. It's overrunning and overwhelming the kind of badass shit that was in the first episode, and this is not good. Anyway, I know you don't watch it, but I just want to let you know you're not missing out on anything.
I don't feel like I am, right? The one thing it's missing from Star Wars, let's just say it's missing its balls. Star Wars is missing its balls. Yeah. It got them snipped. I was watching that fan film, Bucketheads, that on my member stream, they told me about it. So I went and watched it, and it was cool. And the one thing it had was like just action, like freaking, that's Star Wars. That's what it is. It's an interesting thing. It's a story about, from the perspective of the Empire, and showing that the stormtroopers are people too, sometimes good people in service of a bad cause, which is an interesting take. I wouldn't like make it canon or anything, but it's a good alternate take. But it had good action. That's what, dead Ewoks, but that's what Star Wars, that's what people like about the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian was Star Wars with its balls back, basically. Unfortunately, the only person with balls in the whole organization was Gina Carano, and they got rid of her.
Well, the last episode of Mandalorian had balls for days, man. That was some great action. The Dark Troopers, it was super cool because they really set it up well, of that, the Mandalorian had such a hard time with just one of these damn Dark Troopers. And then here comes Luke Skywalker and cuts through him like a fucking hot knife through butter. That was beautiful, man.
That was brilliant. Hey, we got $100 super chat. Oh shit! See, I did it again.
You got it wrong.
Got it wrong. There we go. $100.
Well done.
I'm ready because I was ready for something else. My apologies to Lyle Hammock for $100. Says, "Hail to you both, you fine gentlemen. I remember when I saw Lord of the Rings in theaters when I was in high school. They are a beloved part of my life, and every Christmas my family comes together to watch the trilogy. Amazon, best respect and honor this sacred story." And I absolutely agree. I always see them as holiday movies, and around Christmas time I always rewatch the trilogy. As a matter of fact, today I watched the end of Return of the King. I watched the last right before the show. I watched like the last 20 minutes. Right before the 50 endings that I like every second of, by the way, the whole For Frodo and I Can Carry You, and just it's such a damn good movie, and it gets me fired up, and it reminds me, of why we're here, which we'll talk about later on. We're gonna talk about why we're here, and
absolutely,
and we're here because of people like Lyle. Thank you, Lyle. I appreciate you and the support. And yes, Lord of the Rings is sacred text. It's sacred text, and we're going to go over what there is a ray of hope in what was said. What was they focused on that Lord of the Rings needs to appeal to the most people possible. Which, I mean, yes, you want to do that, but usually that's done through good storytelling, and it's not done through, especially nowadays through casting. It's the casting has to be a part of it as far as the story is concerned. And they had a template, Doomcock, that was documented on how to make a proper Lord of the Rings. Now, you probably can't catch that lightning in a bottle twice, but at least there's video evidence of what Peter Jackson did, what he went through. They filmed all 3 films back to back. They hired all the actors, save for a couple that they had to trade out, and they were locked in for 18 months, damn near 2 years together. And they had to get along, and they became a family, which really helped as far as the production was concerned. And what they made was the greatest trilogy of all time. That's all.
Yeah.
And, when I first heard about it, I didn't have high expectations. As a matter of fact, when I saw the effects for the first time, I was like, this will probably be like a good sci-fi movie, back when I liked the Sci-Fi Network. That's what I was expecting. I didn't expect to be blown away like I was. And walking out of there going, wow, that's Star Wars. That's this generation's Star Wars. They just, and for Amazon to just want their own Game of Thrones, that's all they want, folks. They want their own Game of Thrones. That's what Jeff Bezos said. And when we go over some of the language of the showrunner at Amazon, it's just a product to them that they feel like they can do whatever they want with now, because there's a certain gatekeeper that's gone, which is Christopher Tolkien, the greatest son who ever lived, quite frankly.
Yeah, I was worried about that. I was really worried when he passed. I knew that he was committed, but then would his heirs be committed? And that's the problem. And it looks apparently like not.
Casey Asowski. Oh yeah, for $100, Casey. My goodness, thank you.
Hail, Casey Asowski.
Hail. Sadly, all unfolds as I have foreseen. Oh yes, this news is breaking, ladies and gentlemen. This came down today. If AT&T and Discovery merge, others will as well. And when that happens, our culture and creativity is doomed. Yes. AT&T and Warner Media are unmerging.
Wow.
Are unmerging, and they're separating. Now they're still going to own half of it, and then Discovery is going to own the other half, but it's all the same damn company. So they're just unmerging these companies to play this corporate shell game of avoiding monopoly laws we don't even freaking enforce anymore. What this does to change things, well, AT&T's influence over Warner is gone, and Jar Jar is fully in charge.
Well, kiss that goodbye. Kiss goodbye any hopes of any quality programming. Holy crap. That could not be worse news. Could not be worse.
Is the worst of news. And we'll hit that article too. Yeah, that just came down, but it's like, I don't want to bore everybody with corporate stuff. But what does it mean to the stuff we like? What Casey said, doomed.
The cinematic Antichrist strikes again. I'm telling you, I've warned you. It has been prophesied. Nobody believes me.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy. No, he's not. He gets everything he gets involved with gets political, like immediately.
Yep.
You could see like with Jupiter's Legacy, which I have not finished because I've been doing other things. But I will. At least like that, aside from being a nihilist and stuff, but it's just a show. It's not filled with that stuff that I see so far, other than the bad dad narrative, which is just in fucking everything for the last 20 years, to be honest with you, that I'm tired of.
Yeah,
quite tired of.
Well, I finished it, and you're not missing a lot. I mean, it's pretty telling that you haven't finished it because you're just not that interested. Obviously, I know you're busy, but you'd make time if you were on the edge of your seat. Like, I wonder what's going to happen when they get to, this place. And it's just, yeah, it's lacking something, man. I don't know. It's just not great. I don't hate it. It's just, it's just like exactly what you said. It's just a show, just to watch, and then to forget. Really, it's really tepid.
Yeah. And Grimm and like I like grim once in a while, but like everything is grim.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like Lord of the Rings, and I know it's a classic. It's an all-time classic, but you can get around the tone a little bit, and have a little fun. God, I like that run of 80s movies. Sound like an old man. Get off my lawn. But that run of 80s movies, Big Trouble in Little China, Dreamscape, you just name all of them were fun in one way or another.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
There was a sense of fun in there. And that's just dead. Well, because Hollywood has a giant stick up its ass.
Yeah. Even minor movies like Dreamscape these days are vastly entertaining in comparison to the other shit that's out there. Vastly. I mean, Jesus, that was really not a major release, but I remember it. I enjoyed it. Things like Time After Time, the Nicholas Meyer, Jack the Ripper, H.G. Wells movie is one of my faves, and well written, well acted, not flashy in terms of effects, but fun.
Cool movie, totally cool movie. Let's see who's here. We got Chris Persia, the Canadian Wrench. We got Jennifer Sisko. We got Radicalized Ryan. We got Punk Waddle. We got Anonymous Gamer. Galaxy Express Media, Bayona Rad, Charles Branch, Muzzle Velocity, Bun 299, Hefty Joe, President Alexandria Osaki, President AOC, we'll just say, and what a avatar that is. Oh my. Andrew Brown, Old School Lou, Kiri, Eric Kane as Wrench, Bob Smith, Stellar Heather, Griffin, and a lot of people. Code Monkey, Wayne McLean, and Jonah Hex is here. They did you wrong in your movie, Jonah Hex. It's a good character. It's a damn good character, but that movie was, I don't know if you ever saw that. Did you ever see the Jonah Hex movie?
No, I did not.
You missed nothing. You
Good.
gained an hour of 45 minutes of your life that was not wasted.
Thank God. Yeah, I like it when my decisions are reinforced in retrospect, and it just didn't appeal to me. I used to be extremely discriminating, and now I'm less discriminating just because I have to watch a lot of stuff I wouldn't ordinarily do. But
oh yeah, I mean, shit. I was very upfront with like the Snyder Cut. I was like, we've just gotten so much shit. It just didn't have identity politics. Aside from all the politics around that damn movie, I watched it and I enjoyed it for what it was just a bunch of superheroes flying around. Are they the ones from the comics? Hell no, of course not. But guess what? Compared to what we're going to get, you're going to be missing the Snyder Cut. Trust me.
Oh God. Yeah. I like the Snyder Cut. I really did. I have to say that Jupiter's Legacy is not woke as well. I mean, at least I can say that at the end that it doesn't get woke or anything. Although it's glaringly obvious that the two daughters are exactly the same damn character. The two daughters are exactly the same character. They're snarky. They're mean to their dads. They have issues because their dads weren't there. And both of them have a foul mouth and are just rebelling and acting out and being real pieces of shit. It's real tedious. Real tedious.
Well, see, I guess snarky is empowerment in Hollywood, but not like anywhere else. It's annoying as hell. I mean, if you're funny, it's one thing if you're actually funny, but the snarky, the way they're writing women right now, is for one, women don't act like that. And if they all did, then there would be no kids, because nobody'd want to be around them. I mean, it's awful. It's utterly awful. But somehow that's empowerment, to be snarky and, but because if they're nice, then that could be, perceived as subservient.
Yeah.
That's the logic of the intersectional feminist, What you gonna do? What you gonna do, man? So yeah, exactly. Let's go to Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings. This is I have promised to dedicate my entire channel to bringing down the $1 trillion company, and I may be able to do it. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to do it if they fuck up Lord of the Rings. And this is a promise I've made for quite some time. Many others. I would have a lot of friends on this too. So the source, so this comes from IGN originally, which sourced a Hollywood Reporter article that wasn't just about Lord of the Rings. It was about the 5 most powerful women in Hollywood, blah, 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 doing their typical virtue signaling. Amazon Studios' Jennifer Salk says Lord of the Rings TV series needs a giant global audience. Now, aside from the obvious, yes, they do. We know what that really means. We know that, there's source material, and we know we paid a lot of money for the rights to what is, and it's funny is we even have people in the longtime Tolkien fans all of a sudden changing their mind when it comes to what this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be mythology for England that lost its mythology through the Norman invasion. And so all of the oral mythology is gone, and Tolkien, and that's what I've heard from Peter Jackson. That's what I've read in many places. I can't say I heard that from Tolkien himself because he's been dead for decades. But that's what I have been told for the longest time. Now, does it mean everybody has to be lily white? No, it doesn't. But what I am most concerned with, and I think most people are, is the story. Is where are they going to go with the story? And everything sounds like they're going to go Game of Thrones with the story. And I laughed at that when I first heard. I'm like, they wouldn't be that stupid.
Yeah, I think they would. I think they would. They want a giant global audience. And to them, that screams Game of Thrones minus the flame out. But, if they go ahead and try to make Lord of the Rings fucking Game of Thrones, it's going to flame out on episode 1. It's going to be a big spectacular flame out because people are going to know that this is not authentically Tolkien. And if it's not, they got problems.
And they already have problems. And I've stated it before, but I'll repeat it here for anybody who's, new or coming around for the first time. They're going to be adapting basically the appendices and some unfinished tales mixed in with the Silmarillion, which is this thick with no dialogue. So you're going to have to interpret a lot. And as a writer, if you want to do your job right, and by all accounts, there's people who say they are Tolkien fans on the staff, which is great. But Jar Jar said he was a Star Wars fan, and that could be, I bought a Star Wars shirt once when I was 13. I'm a Star Wars fan. You got to do a little more work than that. But I don't take these people at their word, and we've seen what they've eviscerated franchise after franchise after franchise because the agenda comes first. Representation comes first instead of, let's cast these roles and find the right person. And if that person looks a little different than Tolkien intended, so be it, this person's the best actor for the job. Right. In a Zoom call with Hollywood Reporter's Lacey Rose, Salk was asked about the show's first season budget, with reports claiming it sits around $465 million. Specifically, she was asked, what does the price tag say about the market today? And how well will it need to do just to justify a price tag like that? Well, this is an obvious answer, by the way. But this is crazy, her response, by the way. Salk responded, the market today is crazy, as you saw with Knives Out deal. Did you know that they gave Rian Johnson like almost $500 million freaking dollars for 2 Knives Out, or like close to $400 million for 2 Knives Out sequels?
That's ridiculous.
Insane.
Good God. Well, I guess they're just flush with money, so they can flush money.
Yeah. Where did they get all this money over the last year where there was no theaters?
Amazon?
Well, I know Amazon did, but maybe everybody else. But that was Netflix. Well, Netflix. Yeah. Where the money came from. So
yeah. That's a good question. Holy crap, that's ridiculous. Knives Out was not some kind of like big effects blockbuster. Why the fuck would you $500 million? Oh my God.
They gave JJ $500 million.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the going rate for trash and garbage these days. Used to be free. Oh well.
Yep. This is a full season of a huge world building show. The number is a sexy headline or a crazy headline that's fun to click on, but that is really building the infrastructure of what will sustain the whole series. But it is a crazy world, and various people on this Zoom, mostly Bella and me, have been in bidding situations where it starts to go incredibly high. There's a lot of wooing, and we have to make decisions on where we want to stretch and where we want to draw the line, she continued. Salk then addressed how Amazon will justify the price tag as for how many people need to watch Lord of the Rings. A lot, she laughs. A giant global audience needs to show up to as appointment television, and we are pretty confident that will happen. Wow. Okay.
I think they're high. I don't think that's going to happen at all, but I guess we'll see.
We'll see. I do believe the Mortal Kombat actor came out recently and said something about Lord of the Rings not having enough representation.
Fuck your representation. Just fuck your representation. Fuck all your little formulae and all your little accounting and your diversity checklists. You go take all that shit, wad it up and shove it right up your ass. You people are idiots, and you've got to learn the hard way that you got to make something entertaining to make us watch it. If it's not, nothing that you do, no diversity, no gaslighting, no shaming, no fucking stunt casting, nothing is going to save you. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. We're not going to fuck around with you. We're sick of this shit. Sick of it.
Absolutely. And okay, so this is I brought this up in a video before. These are, letters between Tolkien and Father Robert Murray. Tolkien's vision in a letter numbered 142 to Father Robert Murray. Tolkien described The Lord of the Rings as a Catholic work. He wrote, "The Lord of the Rings is, of course, a fundamentally religious and Catholic work, unconsciously, so at first, but consciously in the revision. This is why I have not put in or have cut out practically all references to anything like religion, to cults or practices in the imagery word, for the religious element is absorbed into the story and the symbolism," he continued. Tolkien then wrote, "However, that is a very clumsily put and sounds more self-important than I feel. For as a matter of fact, I have consciously planned very little and should chiefly be grateful for having been brought up since I was 8 in a faith that has nourished me and taught me all the little that I know, and that I owe to my mother, who clung to her conversion and died young, largely through the hardships of poverty resulting from it." So, I mean, in the second age, we're going to be probably watching or seeing the fall of Numenor. The fall of Numenor is, just to put it to its basic level. And again, they can mess with this a lot, but basically there is a falling out with God, and we have a group on Numenor, or there's people who were loyal to God and people who were loyal to the king. And the king, who was being influenced by Sauron, who was he surrendered himself and then was taken prisoner and then became an advisor. And then all of a sudden they were doing human sacrifices. So that's some dark shit that they could do. And it could be very entertaining and stuff, but are they going to stick to that theme? I don't know. I have no fucking idea what they're going to do. Are they going to be messing with the king? I am not a scholar in this, but as far as once you change certain roles, then you change the story fundamentally, right? So once you start plucking out things that were the author's original vision, you are plucking out the foundation of this story. Now you're going to hear people whining and crying about, no, you're just a Rossicist. No, I just want a good story. And I can see them deviating from that, like immediately. Everything they've done, Bad Robot being involved, having two showrunners who have no experience, and then shunning people who have worked on, John Howe, Tom Shippey, gone. Like, they don't want anything to these men are alive. You could certainly talk to them, and they'd be the best people to talk to for this. Oh, and then Peter Jackson's around too,
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't look like it fits into the film version, then I'm getting Watchmen vibes, Watchmen TV show vibes, which is bad.
You are not wrong. This is exactly the vibe I'm getting. Wokeman. We're getting basically, elf lives matter. That's basically what it's going to be. And just the look of it, it's just so fucking woke. It's gonna be incredibly tough to watch for anyone with a modicum of taste.
Yep.
Especially for fans of this genre and of Tolkien in particular. This is going to be quite painful. And it looks like all the safety brakes are off of this train, with the loss of Christopher Tolkien.
Yeah.
The thing is got no brakes anymore, and it's just hurtling towards a hefty payout for the Tolkien family and a train wreck for Lord of the Rings narratively. It's not looking good.
Yep. And remember, just a reminder of what J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, whose only work was working on Star Trek Beyond. They released a statement back in December, which read, "The world that J.R.R. Tolkien created is epic, diverse." That was their second. Fucking diverse.
Well, in terms of elves and dwarves, orcs, sure, but otherwise, not so much. No.
Balrogs, they're going to be around. Oh yeah. And filled with heart. These extraordinary talented performers, who some of them have left, hailing from across the globe, represent the culmination of a multi-year search to find brilliant and unique artists to bring that world to life anew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, if we go quickly to the source article, there's only one thing that Jennifer Salk brought up that I thought was very interesting.
I look forward to hearing this.
When Jennifer Salk. Okay. All right. So she's talking about the bidding process and what she's coming out with, and follow me on this one. Okay. Because what she says here is interesting. That's all. I don't know what's going to come of it, but remember when they put the word escapism in the MCU trailer? And we're like, that's interesting that they use that word.
Yeah.
Jennifer Salk says, "We had a lot of projects in the works leaning into a lot of serious issues. If you look at them, Covenant, or the Underground Railroad coming, even One Night in Miami, it's heavier content that you really need to invest into. What we realized, and it wasn't a big surprise to me, with something like Coming to America 2, suddenly everybody's like, please, I want to go to a party. It's helped us refocus a bit on accelerating some of that balance going forward."
Wow. Almost like they are acknowledging in some weird way that not everything should be a fucking platform and filled with woke bullshit and shaming and isting and foaming and just entertain people. You think that they've kind of, that's sunk in a little bit?
It's going to have to, because I think the repercussions are here. Like once this is a streaming bubble. It's going to burst. I don't think Amazon's going to be affected at all. Amazon could buy Hollywood right now, but some streaming services are going to fold. They're going to have to remerge. You're going to have to be part of something like Amazon in the future. But Amazon this part is still run like a business. Believe it or not, they still cancel TV shows. And if Lord of the Rings, I'm sure they'll give it 2 seasons. Shit, they gave Star Trek Discovery 4, so it could be crap. But it very well could be the biggest flop of all time. I hope it's good because we need something good. But to hear that acknowledgement that people want to have fun again, oh, that's nice. I mean, it's 4 years too late. We have been talking about this for 4 fucking years. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, people want to have fun again. Wrong thing.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Or Irregulars or whoever the fuck is doing Sherlock Holmes's work for him these days on Netflix.
Shit. I hope that stuff goes into oblivion.
Me too.
This is the crap that we keep fucking hearing from them, but of course they're going to come around on it too late. We even predicted it last year. We're like, oh, they're going to come around. They will come around. I don't know if anybody's going to be around to do it. And I don't know if people are willing to come back after, divisive 4 years doesn't even begin to cover it. They were attacking fans, openly attacking fans, paying customers over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But again, it goes deeper than that too. And that's why, people can just walk away. That's good. But if everyone walks away, then nothing's going to change. And you're just going to, I don't want to live a life in solitude, right? I don't want to live a life in solitude where I'm cut off from the world and I don't want to interact with people anymore and just go live in a freaking cave somewhere. It's not how I want to live. So I will do what I can to change the world as positively as I can, but while still calling shit out.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. I mean, if you care about something, you fight for it. And, unfortunately, sometimes that's a little unpleasant, but it has to be done. Otherwise, you're just conceding things that matter greatly to you. And you'll never get this stuff back once they finish tarnishing it. We are putting resistance up. We are making an impact. We really are. I think we're winning, but it's a slow process. It's one you've got to stay the course on. Otherwise, they will just blow past us, and before you know it, all this hope will be lost.
Yep. Not ready to be there yet, though. Not ready. I mean, like it's still. We still have. We have a lot of great people in the chat. We have a lot of great people out there. Out there with having our back, constantly going at it on Twitter if they want to. And there's a lot of stuff going on I have no idea about. So, and then there's people in Hollywood who, I hear through back channels that, oh yeah, we want things to change, but nobody's willing to say anything or risk their job yet.
Yeah.
Which they can't, of course they can't. But some people are stepping out there and saying stuff, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the only way anything can ever change. That you've got to go ahead and find some courage at some point, because look, Hollywood's got to realize, at least the people over there, that beyond a certain point, your fate is going to be sealed, regardless of whether you speak up or not. I mean, whether or not they get rid of you because you spoke up against the decline in standards and the horrible woke shit infesting everything and business dropping, or you just keep your mouth shut and go along and you let chin balls and you let Kurtzman, you let Jar Jar Abrams and Kennedy just run everything into the ground, and then you're unemployed because nobody wants the shit anymore. So it's really a catch-22. You need to take a risk, and you need to know when it's time to take that risk, when things are basically in danger of rolling tits up and never coming back. Yeah.
I mean, if we see an alternative out there, I mean, there's, and I've said it, many people have said it, like, God, what will come out of this is an indie movement, but that shit costs money. That shit costs a lot of money. And we're not talking about making comic books. We're talking about making TV shows and movies. So this is comic books are minuscule. They could be made. Well, I can't say easily. You got to be talented enough to make them and produce them, and then they have to be out fairly regularly, or you're not going to hold people's attention very long for any particular story. And if we want to, unfortunately, what gets overshadowed is there's people writing books that are good, but that's reading a big book is a tough sell to people. It really is. And that's the hardest one to get out there, but it can also be the most advantageous because a big book could be a great template for another movie or a TV show. A 48-page comic can be a prologue. Now if you're gonna finish your 12-issue series or make a graphic novel that's hundreds of pages, that's a different story. But as far as going out on our own, there has to be some freaking sugar daddy out there basically that needs to swoop in and start that. And that's still, you're taking on a machine that's been around 100 years. And then you're taking on and $1 trillion companies. So it's got to be done along with trying to change them. So you still have that opportunity. And then once something becomes successful, once one thing is successful, people want to copy it. It brings other people to it. And then maybe some of those talented people working in Hollywood will start wanting to work on those independent projects. There's a lot of wasted talent in Hollywood. There's a lot of talented people working freaking just doing QC, and with no chance of ever doing their own thing. Like your goal is to make your own movie or at least work on a movie. I know, like when I was working at Technicolor, everybody had a script. Everybody had a script for their own story. And I'm talking freaking accounting, project management, everything, all the boring, mundane stuff. Everybody wanted to be there to tell their own story. And there's no better time than now, as long as it's not, big budget. But like, as far as like being an alternative for television and scripted film, that's a long way off. You can start it right now with there's fan films. I would say do something original and start it right here on YouTube. And hopefully you make something good enough to get a following.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And people are going to do that anyway, driven by passion. But it just takes a lot of luck to stand out enough to kind of be heard above the din of just the sheer bulk of stuff that's out there. But quality will out. I think ultimately you make something good enough, people are going to notice. I think that's what you really should be primarily concerned with if you're doing this kind of thing. Make it good, make it something you love, and hopefully if the quality is there, people will find it.
Yeah. Like on the business side of comic books, yesterday I went to my friend's shop. We had a long conversation about how the comic retailing industry is surviving. And it's very interesting how it survived. For one, it's booming for certain shops. Certain shops are having their best years ever because they dealt in back issues. Because they had the infrastructure already there. They had websites ready to go, and they've been selling back issues for 3 years, some of them for, couple decades. And they are killing it right now. And as much as the mainstream is losing that money, even the indie sphere is losing some of that money too, because those are the shops you need to maybe get a crack at as selling your books in. Because if you can influence some of those guys, they're still gatekeepers to a certain point. And if you make a couple of them happy, you could sell a lot more books. I wouldn't necessarily cut everybody out. I just think that would be cutting off your nose to spite your face. You want to sell to as many people as possible. So that was an interesting thing. We also heard that bags and boards are going to be, certain type. E. Gerber is shutting down. They make my little prestige Mylar ones. Right.
Yeah.
They were repurposed to do make COVID supplies. So they got this big government contract. So they shut down bags and boards for a little while. They haven't said it publicly yet. And there's going to be a little dry spell for a little while. And then when they come back, they're doubling the price.
Oh, wow. Well, living in America. Yeah.
Yep. But there's a lot of ways shops are going on Instagram and doing auctions with these back issues, and it's like printing money. It's crazy. The back issue market's insane right now. And that's because new comics suck, and they're still comic fans, and they want superhero stories. And you know what the comic fans are realizing? Oh shit, there's a bunch I haven't read that I can, and you can go get a bunch of cheap Disney Silver Age for next to nothing, and you could buy 100 issues that'll keep you busy forever. You could never read. I could never. There's enough comics out there that I haven't read that can keep me busy the rest of my life without buying a single new comic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. God, there's so much great stuff out there, man.
Yep.
So much great stuff out there. No doubt about it. I don't feel any dearth at all. And actually, like most of America, I'm starting to get more into manga and anime. So that is killing as well. And the comic shops can't get into that. I even asked him, and he's like, yeah, it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It works for bookstores, but it's an online thing, and it is destroying everything right now. That it got passed around. The top 20 was all Viz Media except for one, which was still manga. It was all Viz, which is a manga publisher. Yeah.
Epic Cap for $50. Says Nerdrotic. Longtime watcher, big fan, and bigger Tolkien fan. You better be. Own all extras, including History of Middle Earth. Tolkien inspired my own novels. No advertisement, but would love to send you DC and the FNT crew digital copies if you're up for some fantasy. Absolutely. Doomcock, what's your email address?
It's dictorvandoomcock@gmail.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. That sounds great.
That sounds awesome. And mine is Gary@nerdrotic.com, and I can pass it on to the gents. Because honestly, I don't know all their emails off the top of my head. I mean, I think it might be, I don't know what all their emails are. I'm guessing Geeks and Gamers. Well, I don't know if it'd be Geeks and Gamers at geeksandgamers.com or Jeremy. I don't know. So send it to me and then I'll find out. I probably should know, but I don't. Fizzenthorpe for $20. Gary, the big red flag will be when they say this isn't the Middle Earth you remember. Love the Inquisition. Hail Doomcock. Oh, exactly. This isn't the Middle Earth you remember from before, or a new look at Middle Earth.
Yeah. Oh God, you're making me sick.
A more accessible Middle Earth.
Oh my God. A Middle Earth that is more diverse and open to others. Yeah.
A less racist Middle Earth. Come on over, Tolkien fans.
Yeah. Yes. Not your white bread Middle Earth. No, not at all.
Listen, it already had. Well, the funny thing is, like, it already had worldwide appeal. It's one of the best-selling books of all fucking time. It is one of the trilogy. I think made each of them made $1 billion worldwide back in the early 2000s, which would equate to probably $1.5 billion now, maybe more. The book was translated 57 times. I'm going off the top of my head. I think it was 87 variations on 57 translations, 150 million copies sold. All right. Just to remind you, not everybody on the planet Earth can read. Just so you know, there's still a large percentage who cannot read. And hopefully they learn someday. And there's certain countries the book probably can't be translated to. Who knows? But yes, this will be what I got the most was this is going to be a Lord of the Rings for China. Well, China is rich in mythology, like absolutely rich. They didn't, lose all of theirs. And I would love to see some of that adapted all day long. Please do. And you know what? You don't have to have a single white dude in it. I wouldn't care.
That's authentic. That's authentic. Yeah, I mean, that would be great. In fact, if there were white dudes in it, I would say, what is all these white guys doing around in China in, prehistoric times or prehistory or whenever these things are said? I mean, this is not some kind of white only thing. I want authenticity, and I want the characters that started out, however they started out, that's how I want them to remain. Is that so crazy? Is that so wrong? I don't think so. I think it's not loving what you love.
Yeah. If you want to, like, what you need, the reason you paid all that money for Lord of the Rings was the built-in fan base. And you've been basically telling them to kind of fuck off a lot since you've purchased it. You're like, yeah, we're not going to talk to Tom Shippey or John Howe. Yeah, or we're going to hire Bad Robot. It's like, what the fuck? And not we're not really going to interact with the fans very much, which they haven't done at all, like zero.
Right. Yeah. Well, because we're annoyances. The fans are annoyances. Never mind that the fans are their best customers, but they don't want to be bothered. They don't want to have to think about all this canon stuff, all this geeky stuff. They just want to go ahead and make their own stupid, creative, so-called creative decisions that entails them not having to do much research, not having to be fans, not having to have any kind of great narrative. They just want to crank this shit out and go home and get stoned or drink or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah. I won't bring up the article again, but the article was 5 most powerful women in Hollywood, and Ava DuVernay was there. Are you powerful if you just got fired off of your Jack Kirby DC movie? I don't think so, but I digress. Salk talked about the bidding war and how amazing it was that there was the women bidding with millions of dollars. And I'm like, that's amazing. Now you're going to prove that women can be just as stupid as men. It's going to be great. But none of them talked about, like, you know, this is a passionate fan base. This is a sacred story. This is one of the greatest stories ever told. And of course, it's the last franchise standing. And that's what my last video was. They're coming for Lord of the Rings. And now tonight is they're here. They got it. They got their meat hooks in it. And they're going to shred this thing. And it's going to be woke as hell. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's guaranteed, dude. They've got their hooks. Bad Robot has got their hooks in Lord of the Rings. Bad Robot's got their hooks in the DC universe now. They've got their hooks in fucking Star Trek. Is there any doubt that Jar Jar Abrams is the cinematic Antichrist? I mean, I've said this 50 million times. People, believe me. This guy is a walking contagion. A walking biblical plague of locusts that just descends on these fucking franchises and just runs them into the ground. The angel of death does not pass over any franchise that he touches. It goes right down for the kill. Gone.
Yep. And why do we give a shit? Because we're nerds.
We love it.
Yeah, that's why we're here, because we love this stuff. And we care, and to some, we might care a little bit too much. That might makes us a little weird, like nerds, like outsiders. Yeah, the way we've always been, the way I've always been. Very fucking happy to be there, by the way.
Yep.
Very fucking happy to fight for it. And you know, like the one thing, Doomcock and I, like we actually watch the shit we talk about. We actually read the books, read the comics, watch the TV shows.
Yes, we do. As painful as it is, often we do it.
Yeah, and it's because we care. We also want to be informed, not come off half cocked. And you know, this Lord of the Rings is something like I fuck. If I could get away with it, I would talk about it all the time on my channel. But I'm not a lore channel. You know, maybe someday, maybe my YouTube retirement, I'll just do lore. No, I like also talking about pop culture and shit. The lessons to be learned, what we're seeing here, we are waking people up every day. I just had a member stream this morning. I know you do them as well. We get to talk to our members, which is a fucking great experience, by the way. I love it. It's my favorite part about this channel. And I also found out that we, you know, as I've said before, we get new people every fucking day. Mm-hmm. Every day we get new people to this fight. To some, this has been we've been doing this forever. You know, 3-4 years, hashtags come and go. Doesn't matter, because the fight's not over. Is everything cool? Is everything all right? The last time I checked, everything wasn't fucking all right. Things are still pretty shitty.
Yes, they are.
You're gonna just fucking give up? Be a bunch of pussies? No, we're not going to be a bunch of fucking pussies and give up. What you do is you try to fight, and you can make your own stuff, but you continue to fight, or you're going to get crushed, and your independent voice will be snuffed out.
Yep. You cannot be complacent, because these people are moving against us every day. Every day, little bits of our culture, our heritage are sold out from under us, and given to some hack that doesn't have any business monkeying around with these great narratives. And they're just destroying our mythology, destroying our past, destroying stuff that we love. And we've got to stay on it. We've got to keep resistance up. We've got to keep telling people why these things stink, not just bitching about them, but analyzing them. When we discuss it on the Inquisition in our review videos, we have to make it very, very clear what they're doing, why they're doing it, and why it's bad.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand if you're sick of it and you're done. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it.
Sure.
I mean, if you're done personally, that's fine. Like me, I'm not done. Far from being done. I'm persistent. Ask my wife. I'm persistent. And I think we can win this. I absolutely do. There was a time where, I wasn't so sure, but over especially the last 6 months, where I see the sentiment, not of Hollywood, but of you guys, because you're the ones who drive it. Hollywood has no idea what you like, and they'll never know what you like. And it's even worse with corporations. This was I'm talking about back in the days when there was just one person in charge. They're still a little bit too detached. Sometimes they don't even know their own work that well, George Lucas. They don't understand like how their work appeals to other people. And it becomes its own thing. I mean, that's essentially what Star Wars did. Prior to the Disney sale, it morphed into its own thing that belonged to the fans. The fans were actually dictating and guiding that. It was kind of rad, really. And with Tolkien, it's a different thing because there isn't a bunch of there's no EU, there's nothing new written. It's been protected, which is why it's sacred. It's been protected because that's what Tolkien would have wanted. And hopefully Christopher Tolkien's heirs, I don't know if they've done anything wrong yet, so I don't want to condemn them. But it's certainly looking like that. And this is the one franchise that they want to take down because this is the granddaddy. This is the granddaddy. While Star Wars is the biggest, Lord of the Rings is the granddaddy. There would be no Star Wars without Lord of the Rings. So,
yep. Do you think that they're going to have primary scenes where elves are like having a grievance against their race being discriminated against, and I don't know, probably make all the elves gay and say that their preference is been slighted by white cis humans? You think they're going to layer it that thick?
You could. There's a great potential there to have the conflict between the dwarves. Well, the dwarves got along with the elves, right? But then there was a falling out. But they could definitely make that a racial thing if they want. That would be insane, and I doubt the Tolkien estate would let that happen. But we can't put anything out of the realm of possibility, or them putting that type of a theme in there, which it absolutely doesn't belong. None of those themes belong. And we all know how Tolkien felt about allegory. He's got a story. We know the progression of this story. And it's basically how evil corrupts. It's very simple. It's very simple. And you have Sauron in the forging of the 19 rings of power by the elves of Eregion. And they fucking, everybody falls prey. Not everybody, but it would have been much better off if they weren't created at all. But they were, and it's a long battle, and it's all going to, end with the first War of the Ring, hopefully. And what I heard that they might do is they're going to cover, because they have thousands of years to cover, which means they have lots of things they could fuck up. But the rumor is they want to bring halflings into it, and there are descendants of halflings in the Second Age, but I think it's like the late Second Age. Which would not make sense in the early Second Age when, with Numenor and everything, but they want to bring that in because focus groups said they want hobbits. And that's according to, that scoop came from the OneRing.net. And that's where I go, they're the only ones who are like really diving into this. Right. And they do these quiet little live streams with, 100 people. And they're not into the culture war or any crap like that. They're just talking about Lord of the Rings, but they ask, the right questions. And then sometimes they say stuff that's pretty cringy, but whatever. Yeah, I think that stuff could end up there. Yes. I think Bad Robot is involved, even if it's peripherally. Yes, it will end up in there.
Can't put anything past them that they would be that obvious, glaringly obvious. In fact, really, we're just one woke Tolkien away from having this entire thing taken over. Like if the family was like, oh, well, that's trendy, and oh, we support this, and oh, we've got to do something about racial discrimination. So let's go ahead and fuck up Lord of the Rings. I can just see it coming, man. I mean, this is definitely not something that is improbable. It's something that's all too possible.
Well, yeah, and we already, Tom Shippey worked on The Hobbit, and they messed with. I mean, like what they did to oh god, that love triangle was just. Because I like watching The Hobbit. It's a guilty pleasure, but anytime the love triangle scenes get in, it's boop, fast forward, gone.
Wow.
I wish I could just edit that out.
I'm surprised you like it. I couldn't really stand it. Honestly.
Yeah, I do. Like I said, I fanboy out on some stuff. That's I've always been like that. I'm not. I'm hypercritical on some stuff, but not on everything.
Yeah,
especially when it's stuff I love. I'm very forgiving, unless it goes full on woke, and then I'll,
I understand, but oh my god, they stretched it out so much, and I just shit. Excuse me.
Salud.
I'm allergic to The Hobbit. I think I like the book, but yeah, I was not a fan of in fact, I didn't even see the final one. I just was like, oh, come on, man, I can't take this. I'm glad you like it, though. I'm glad you can find some joy in it. I really am.
Tariel with it's Keeley, right? But yeah, and then of course it's a female elf and a male dwarf, so they can have the symbolism of that's intersectional feminism getting into The Hobbit for sure. Absolutely, for sure. And this is before I even was thinking about that stuff when it came out. God, it was like 14, 15, 16, something like that. I was working at Toyota at the time. And yeah, even then I'm like, I hate this. I don't like this. This sucks. Why is this here? And then we started seeing more and more of it. But up until that time, up until 2015, like things were getting good. Things were getting really good. We were in a bit of a renaissance. Like television was getting much better. This is before Game of Thrones absolutely took a shit. So when Game of Thrones was still really good, it was raising everybody else's game up. Of course, that's when we got Daredevil season 1. I'll never stop talking about Taboo because that was a fucking good show and I loved it. Mr. Robot started out pretty strong. Legion started out strong. There was some good shit out there. And it just once it passed this line, man, it went to crap. And maybe we're at the end of the cycle. I don't know. Or maybe this is the last cycle. We're seeing 20th century models die. Late night television's dying out. It probably shouldn't have lasted this long. It got an extra fake bump from the Orange Man years, but now that Orange Man is gone, you heard Conan O'Brien is announcing he's done. And out of all the late night talk shows, like he was the best of them. Now, I didn't watch any of it over the last 5 years, so I don't know if he fell into the whole Orange Man bad thing every night or not. But I know he was more geek oriented. That's why I liked him.
He was good.
Yeah, and then Lily Singh, I'm very sorry to hear that she lost, a YouTuber lost her late night show because nobody was watching. And then the rest of it will probably follow suit eventually because they can't compete. There was an article put out by Barstool Sports recently. I don't agree with it completely, saying that podcasts killed late night. It was politics that killed late night. It's an old model. I think live streaming, I would put live streaming up before podcasts. Because I mean, maybe that's what they were including in that, but I would, live streaming's taking a huge audience. It's a bunch of little audiences taking away the big, but that, add them up, it's a giant fucking number. It's a giant number that broadcast TV would love to have, but they don't.
Well, again, we've talked about this on the show before, that there aren't really any big movie stars anymore. Not really. Not celebrities like in the old days. Not people like James Mason, Richard Burton, Jimmy Stewart, guys like that, legends. And so on a late night show, you're not really going to get the same kind of star power that used to compel people to watch. I've recently looked at a little bit of Johnny Carson's old stuff, and just a string of like really big name actors. It was a period of superstars, really. And these days, what are you going to get? Jonah Hill or some shit? I mean, who cares? Nobody cares anymore. So all that they had was the genius of the main host. And Conan O'Brien was really funny. Dave Letterman was funny back in the day. Also, Craig Ferguson, the Scottish guy, was this fucking scream. He could, people like that can compensate for, guests not being stellar, not being that interesting. The hosts themselves were interesting, but now you've got guys like Jimmy Fallon and Kimmel, who used to be funny, but it really isn't that much anymore. Because all of the political shit, it's just kind of a wasteland. It's nothing particularly interesting going on, and I think it's tired. I think that's why it's going to go, is because Hollywood got small. Hollywood got really small. There really are not superstars anymore. Not like there were in the past.
No, that's going to change. Like something will fill that vacuum. Will it be social media? I don't know. Maybe it seems to be happening again. Gina Carano is a pretty big fucking star right now. I would say the hottest star is Gina Carano.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking fired her, you dumbasses. I'm looking for the article. Maybe it's not here. That there was that Mortal Kombat actor.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about this one.
Yeah. I thought it was at Bounding, but I don't see it. But we could listen. Lord of the Rings is something I've loved my entire life. I read it on and off, like all the time, like all the fucking time. I'll watch the movie, like little pieces of it all the time. It's my happy place. And it's whatever Amazon does, they can't fuck with Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm not worried about. Like, what they did to Doctor Who. They can go back in the Second Age and say all the fucking shit they want, but I have a feeling it won't look anything like it. And yeah, there's big problems coming along. Again, this is a Catholic. This was a story written by a devout Catholic. Now the story is, even though the man said, it's Catholic, I never saw it as a Catholic story. I never saw it as a religious story. They mentioned God once or twice, but it's just in passing. You
wanted to weave it into the narrative, kind of like Lewis did with Chronicles of Narnia. Same exact kind of deal, really.
Yeah, and what are they going to introduce that Tolkien would not want in there?
Everything.
Not every show needs LGBTQ representation. Not every show. Also, you can have an entire LGBTQ show with no hetero representation. That can exist too. They
Absolutely.
Can both in this world, because you can do whatever the fuck you want. But see, Hollywood can't do what it wants right now, and that's going to be its undoing. Ultimately, is it can't write what it wants. You talked about it. I talked about it. That fucking ridiculous indoctrination that Disney was. I did hear, and it did make sense, that was state mandated. Oh, in California. Yep. So that means other companies are using it too. To what extent? Don't know. But we'll find out.
God.
We'll find out, especially if it's state mandated.
Oh, that's awful, man. That's awful. Good God.
I was talking to Jamie, the comic shop owner. And he's like, "Why are you leaving, dude? Like, you've lived here your entire life." He's like, "Yeah, the politics suck, but do they really affect your daily life?" I'm like, "Yeah, they do. They did. They like shut down my wife's business, but then like my kid's school and now state mandated critical race theory. It's like, fucking later, dude. I mean, like, I believe in fighting. I do. I like, if I thought it was worth it, I'd stay. But I got a kid, they're making it harder for private schools here. Everything's fucking expensive. No thanks. I'll go to Texas where I'm more free and shit's cheaper.
True.
Yep. But it's going to affect all our art too. So let's go. Okay. Sentencing.
Oh man, I got a bad feeling about this, to quote a certain Corellian pirate of our mutual acquaintance. It's premature. I mean, we haven't seen shit in terms of actual footage, but I don't know. Put them out on an island with some supplies and see what develops, isolate them from us and from the rest of our audience and pop culture. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
With doesn't Australia, I know they're New Zealand, but Australia has like 7 of the world's deadliest snakes on it or something like that. Yeah, we'll put those snakes on it. You survive that, then you can write the story. You know what real survival is, and that survival won't depend on somebody's representation.
Yeah.
On their mind, their wits.
No, every show has to have a lot of LGBTQ representation, Gary, because God knows, isn't half or 60% of the population gay?
Yeah, except it's not.
Oh, it's not. What percentage of the population is gay, do you think?
4. That's pretty high, I think.
What?
4%.
It's only 4?
Yeah, 4.
It's only 4.
It's only 4.
And so every fucking show has to be preaching about LGBTQ issues and have representation and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Boy. Oh, and we can go ahead and cancel redheads right and left, because they're only like something like 2% of the population globally.
Yeah, they are very rare and feisty.
And we have to go ahead and cancel them. That's just that is absolute racism right there. That is like discrimination, bigotry. That's the worst shit, dude. The worst.
Absolutely. Daniel for $100. Daniel says, "I'm not white. If I met Gary in a comic shop, I know we would strike up a friendly conversation based on our shared loves. That is what brings us together, not whether he shares my skin tone. I want an all-white, mostly male Lord of the Rings because that is Tolkien's world. Yes, it's okay to have a mostly male and it can be predominantly white story. It's not a bad thing. Okay, it's just a thing. It's just one story, folks. Go make the original. Go make your own. Make an LGBTQ fantasy. Do your own. But they can't. So they have to come in and make this one accessible. But we've said this before. Every time they make something more accessible, less people watch it.
This is very true. They do not. The reason that they don't make those kinds of projects is because they are pretty sure that it's not going to really clean up. People are generally not going to be that interested because the writing will not be great and they don't have the wokeness to hide behind when people criticize it. And it's just, it's so much easier to just vandalize something than create something from scratch.
Yep. I think, it depends on what they do in the show as far as the representation, as far as like how people look. That my main concern is the story and what they do with the story. That's where things get fucked up. Casting is going to be casting, and if they get the right people for the role, I'll generally be happy. If they're just actors and they're the best actor for the role. We'll see on that front. Can't call it, but yeah, it needs to look like Tolkien. There's ways you can make it look like Tolkien and fudge around with things a little bit. Certainly they did it in Lord of the Rings, but and this is the Lord of the Rings as opposed to Lord of the Rings. But thank you, Daniel. And when my comic shop is up and running, I hope to see you in it someday. All right, $49.99 from Mr. Zadok. It says, "Bless you too. Trust me, I was named after a high priest. Bit of business, but sent you my first Streamlabs donation, Gary. But would you like to know if it functions like a super chat, or do you get to leave it right on the air? Love you too. Keep it up." No, I leave it. I read it. If I get them, I read it. So I don't know if the name matches up there or if it's under another name, but it'll get read. It'll absolutely get read. It's more advantageous than super chats because they don't take anything. Super chats take 30%. Streamlabs doesn't take anything. But you must have it under a different name, Mr. Zadok, which is fine. It'll get read anyway. I promise you. Doomcock, our next order of business.
Yes.
Do we want to talk about? Well, I guess we'll talk about. Disney overall. Its growth has slowed. The MCU looks like it's in trouble.
Well, when you snap away, half of the population, and then you have to jump through hoops and bend over backwards and tie yourself into, chronological narrative knots to go ahead and bring things back to essentially the status quo. And then you've got this whole woke agenda where you're trying to turn it into the MCU. Yeah, I think trouble is a little bit of an understatement, but your point is well taken.
Yeah, they're not going to fall anytime soon. All right, the death of Disney is not imminent or anything. But beginning of a long end, their reign of being dominant, I think, is over. I think that could end. The MCU was it for them. The Star Wars movies, whatever they come out with, there's no sure thing anymore. Like the sure things are gone. So the MCU is looking mighty weak right now. Mm-hmm. And now, for one, it's not official yet, but Shang-Chi and the Eternals are not on the list for Chinese releases.
Oh dear.
Yeah, they were left off.
I wonder why.
Well, Chloe Zhao is banned in China right now. She's persona non grata. And Mr. Zadok, I did find the donation. I'll get to it in just a second. Yeah, Chloe Zhao, director of the Eternals. You might not have heard of her. She won a Best Picture for director. Nomadland, the Oscar ceremonies.
Right.
So she's directing the Eternals, and she said something bad about China in 2013. She called it a land of lies, and she has been erased from the Chinese web, and not the Spider-Man TV show, but the actual Chinese web. And they have another problem with Shang-Chi. They believe it's a little, it's a bit too racist to be shown in China, which is hilarious because the complaints about it are racist, and I can't even get into all of the complaints. They're so it's unbelievable. But of course, there's a difference between the Chinese people and the Chinese government, and sometimes the Chinese people they don't like woke shit. They don't like fucking woke shit, and they see the pandering in this, and they think the movie looks like garbage. And you only get the United States only gets a certain amount of slots in China. Now, could Disney work some magic and get them in later? Maybe, but they're not going to do well there. They're not. China doesn't want to bring them in because they don't think the public gives a shit. Mm-hmm. And they think it might be another Mulan. We could have 2 MCU flops. You know how much we need an MCU flop? I hate rooting for a movie to flop. I do. It's not something I like doing, but the MCU needs some fucking humbling, some big time humbling.
They do. I mean, without respect, we reject. And one of the ways that we do that rejection is keeping our damn wallets shut and firmly in our pockets, because that's the only way to communicate with these people. That's the only language that they understand ultimately, because, they're so high on their own farts on Twitter that, tweeting out to them and tweeting, it doesn't do much at all. They have put themselves in a bubble where their, predisposed opinions are reinforced and echoed back at them. And the only way to really, really get their attention is to make sure that some of their projects bomb. And the more spectacularly, the louder they hear it. And that's what we need to do with these people, because I tell you, I am not excited about anything I'm seeing from Marvel these days. Nothing. I am so sick of this shit. It is not living up to expectations. The shows on Disney Plus have been tepid at best, and insultingly woke at worst. I have no hopes for the MCU at this point. I have no expectations that they're going to pull themselves out of this ditch. I hope I'm wrong. I sure would like to be wrong. I'd love for them to make some good movies again, but Magic 8 Ball says outlook doubtful.
Outlook doubtful. Like, how great would like a rated R Black Widow, where Black Widow uses all of her resources to get the job done? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yes, I would really love to see Black Widow do some breast foo. Just like whacking people with her tits. Knocking people out. I think that, geez, I would watch that. I'd buy that on disc.
Yeah. Like Scarlett Johansson using all of her assets to her fullest ability in a violent, sex-filled movie would be fucking epic. It would be my favorite MCU film. Just make it. You get the same people who made Daredevil season 1, have them make a Black Widow movie. Done. No, we're going to have we're going to make it a fucking sitcom. It's going to be a family, and they're going to go to our past, and it's going to be a very, very diverse Russian spy set.
Sure.
And they are just going to be a bunch of kick-ass women, and the Taskmasters, there's a good chance it's going to be a girl. I'm saying it's 50-50.
Oh, right? God. Yeah.
50-50. And they're going to waste, and it's a dead character, a character who deserved a movie a long time ago, a character that everybody likes. I think ScarJo has been a great Black Widow. So I hope I'm wrong. But I think they're due for a flop. I think they need a flop for them to change their ways. And if they change their ways, this is a franchise that can be saved. Absolutely. If they change their ways within the next calendar year. And if they have 2 flops in a row, they're going to have to.
I would hope, but I'm not optimistic because, at this point, Feige could definitely spin a flop as, because it's the coof, because of this, because of that. It's going to be a lot harder unless it bombs spectacularly and gets slammed by YouTubers and people on Twitter and stuff, like really speaking out. If it sucks, if it doesn't, fine, good on them. But honestly, you're right. I think an R-rated one would be fantastic. Basically Atomic Blonde. I don't know if you saw that, but that was a damn good movie. It really was. It was fun. Good fights. If you had Scarlett Johansson in that as Black Widow, something like that, that'd be great. Also, alternately, if you made it R, you could have Tarantino or somebody like that come in here and make a Tarantino making a Black Widow movie.
Fuck. She wouldn't have her boots on. She'd be barefoot all the time, but that's fine.
And I like that. So he and I share that affinity. So I'd be all for it, man. All for it. But unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
No. What did Tarantino say he wanted to direct? It was some property. It wasn't Star Trek. It was something else. Can't remember it now, so it's not important. But
really,
they have great potential still. They have some great characters, but we're rushing into Shang-Chi, who just looks like a guy who looks like he stepped out of some Vegas show to do some kung fu. And then there's Eternals, which looks like a Vegas show,
Yeah.
like Zoomanity or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all in front of a green screen, and it looks just awful. And they've had all this time, and they showed us that much footage. I don't know where they go. They haven't cast the Fantastic Four. They no talk of X-Men, Doctor Strange. I mean, the good stuff is Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, but that's a long way off still. And I do think they'd have to be massive bombs. And yes, they would explain most of it away with the Coof. Absolutely. That would be the built-in excuse. But remember, Solo bombed so spectacularly that they canceled all the Solo Star Wars stories and rethought everything. Yeah. Just off of one. And if you think about it, at that time, but that was also, after The Last Jedi. So it was boom, right after. See, that was two where, I mean, you can't call The Last Jedi a bomb. I would never call it a bomb. It was a successful movie. It made money, but people hated it. So then it was followed up by a bomb, and that brought change. Now, was it the right change? Well, you did get the Mandalorian out of it. You did. But the Rise of Skywalker came out, and that sucked. But that, they were kind of already into the story. So argument could be made that a couple flops could change things. It's the only hope we have.
I think it's going to happen. I think the Eternals is our very best shot at that. Nobody's excited about the Eternals. Disney's not even excited about the Eternals. They're not showing us anything from it. And it's probably the wisest thing they could possibly do.
I know.
You're right. They basically look like members of a troupe of a Cirque du Soleil production where they come out in the middle and, they contort themselves to the point where they can kiss their own asses goodbye. You can just see it. Usually it's like small ladies from China that do this, but the Eternals look like they're going to step up unless there's an ice skating rink. If there's an ice skating rink, then we know that they're ice skaters. But other than that,
that's even a better analogy. They look like ice skaters. They look like they're part of an ice show in Vegas.
They do. Yeah. And not a good one.
No,
it's like when the Excalibur got flooded or something. And so they say, well, let's freeze it and put some ice skaters on. There's not even like a coherent specialty show. Like there is no casino in Vegas that I'm aware of where the Eternals would be welcome for their ice skating shit.
No, not even Circus.
No, not even them. Mm-mm.
Been down at by Fremont, the older part of it.
Oh yeah.
They're totally rejected. And okay, so they had Falcon Winter Soldier, which was boring, grim, stupid, some of the worst dialogue I've ever heard. We had WandaVision, which was, both shows had really very twisted morals. And I didn't even realize this until I saw the article. Marvel doesn't have showrunners for their shows. So they're hiring these directors with no experience that they have the movies built in for them. Right. And I think it was 2 videos ago, I put up that article of the director who freaking outed him and said, yeah, they told me I didn't. She's like, they told me I didn't need to direct the action scenes. I didn't need to do the effect scenes. It's like, what are you doing then? Just principal? Like, that's it? Like, that's not directing. That's facilitating, like your second unit at that point, it's like, and now they don't have showrunners. So basically Feige has a bunch of cookie cutters. He's got his little widgets on the conveyor belt and he's putting them out. And guess what they're looking like? Widgets on a conveyor belt. They're just woke widgets.
No, you're right. It's really kind of an assembly line mentality where these people are surrendering the auteur role. I mean, the director is supposed to be the author of the film and should be passionately involved in every damn decision that there is. And if they can abrogate that, if they can just say, well, I'm not going to worry about that, then that essentially means that they're just a hired gun. There is no passion. There's nothing like what Spielberg brought to something like Raiders of the Lost Ark. The great directors that have been passionate and stylizing their movements and making, like Ridley Scott, for God's sakes, Blade Runner, Alien. That man is obsessive. Same thing with James Cameron, actually. He's very much along those lines too. We're getting none of that, and that is the really sad part. There is no genius coming our way. There's no breakout thing like James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy, which was just fun, and nothing but fun from start to finish. I don't think we're ever going to see the likes of that again.
No, not even in Guardians 3.
Which is sad, man, because I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Me too. So from Mr. Zadok for $72. Thank you very much. Coming in late, but just wanted to tell you, hail Gary, hail Doomcock, and happy belated birthday. Happy belated birthday, sir.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you, my friends. I appreciate that.
So yesterday was your birthday.
Yes.
What you can talk about? What'd you do?
I just kind of went out and did some actual shopping and grabbed some food, sat outside and had some drinks and food, and it was a lot of fun. Saw some family, it was a very, very refreshing change.
Nice and chill. I like that. Well, yeah, everybody wish our future ruler of Earth a belated happy birthday in the chat. And we don't ask a future ruler his age. That would be very rude. It could be centuries, folks. It could be thousands of years. We don't know how long he's been around. He's lives partially in a time vortex. So do you really age in that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a time warp, and chronologically quite old, but a lot of that was instantaneously transferring, from the 1800s up to 1977. So it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, it must have been. Gee whiz, there you go. Roger H for $4.13 says, "Hey Gary, hope you're doing well. Do you think Disney actually puts out false rumors to throw people off misinformation?" I don't know if I would call it false rumors, but yes, I believe they put out false information. I absolutely believe that. I have no way to prove it, but I believe it.
Well, I think Kennedy did for sure with that thing about there's no civil war going on, and gosh, I love old John, and I'd be happy for him to take over when I get promoted or retire. And it's like, sure, she would. Oh, sure. It's all been about white males. I'm sure she has no problem with a white male succeeding her and undoing all of her work. Sure. So there, we know that was bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, sports ball, they do it all the time. They put out misinformation for trades and all that crap. So why wouldn't the entertainment, especially since there's money and scoops now, like with Deadline, and they're highly competitive for that stuff. So I think they do. I could be wrong, but I think they do.
I suspect they do. Yeah.
Yep. What exactly is the selling point for the Eternals? Based on the brief glimpses we've seen in the latest MCU Phase 4 trailer, the film looks painfully bland. And that's from Nikki D for $5. I can't think of any. Can you think of any selling points for the Eternals? Oh, Chloe Zhao directed it.
It means nothing to me. Yep. I can't think of a damn thing. I don't ever think about the Eternals. I have no idea when it's coming out. I think it looks like garbage. Oh my God, it basically looks like a rainbow flag that somebody cut up and put on some guys, and here you go. Here's your diversity and action. I just, what is the story? Who cares? Who cares? I can't think of a reason to give a shit.
Icarus and Cersei, and I haven't read. I read the Neil Gaiman one, but that's not. I don't know if that's what the one they're going to adapt or not. It's basically they want to do like a Space Avengers, and it's in maybe try to capture on the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, but the movie doesn't look like it at all. What it should have been is a Jack Kirby love letter. I believe the movie was a reaction. I think it was simply a reaction, just like Captain Marvel was, because DC had announced Ava DuVernay for Jack Kirby's New Gods, and not a month later, Kevin Feige comes out and has a woman of color directing a Jack Kirby project. That's not a coincidence. That was a reaction. So I didn't think they thought about it very much. And this is where the Marvel plan has been breaking down. It's been very reactionary. Before it was planned. They were mapping things out. And now it's like, well, how woke can we be? And nobody gives a shit about the characters or the stories or anything. And this is how Disney destroys. It can't build. Disney's too big to succeed. We just found out yesterday. Yeah, God, I got to bring this up. It is now official canon that Loki was under mind control by the Mind Stone in the Avengers. He wasn't. The whole time he wasn't really a villain.
And how does that add to anything? How does that add to the story? What kind of choice is this? What does it tell us about what Marvel's overall guiding principle is? To tell a great story? I don't know what the fuck they think that does. I have no idea. That's crazy.
It is crazy. And I don't understand where they think they can fucking come up with, like, Marvel has confirmed Loki was never really a villain at all since it was the Mind Stone that made him so evil.
In the first Avengers.
In the first Avengers, completely fucking ruining it.
Yep. Well, he was evil in the fucking comics. In every fucking comic, there wasn't any Mind Stone. It's just now that they're going to give him his own TV fucking series, he has to be a hero all of a sudden? Really? Don't they understand that some of the most interesting heroes are anti-heroes? Heroes that are heroic despite their own bad natures? I don't know. Well, this makes me even less interested in the fucking Loki TV show that's coming out. He's gonna wake up in a dream and what is it gonna be like Scrooge at the end of A Christmas Carol? I see the error of my ways. Is it Christmas still? And then he's gonna dance through the streets giving presents to all the good little halflings and elves and children around the world. I don't know. I'm not excited. Less excited than ever before now.
I think the only thing this satisfies, right, is what? Some fanfic people. I don't know. There's some weird Loki fanfic group on Tumblr who's probably rejoicing. I knew he wasn't evil.
I always loved him. Yeah.
It's like the Raylo version of Loki. That's the only thing I can think of.
Who are they going to ship him with?
His brother,
self,
bastards.
Thor and Loki sitting in the tree.
They're brothers, and that just makes it weirder the more I talk about it. I don't know what goes through the mind of adults that have to write fan fiction. I don't of that type, but I mean that's how it started. With Slash. Yeah. No, it's just a way to dismantle. I mean, like they're dismantling the MCU right now. They're completely dismantling it. It's you're taking, for one, the MCU doesn't have great villains. They don't.
No.
Loki was a pretty good villain. Thanos built up to be a good villain, and then they have Ghost and Ant-Man, and like a bunch of nothings really. No Doctor Doom yet on screen. Of course, there's no Green Goblin yet. Those are two of the major villains. No Galactus yet. Outside of Thanos, their best villains, Kingpin in Daredevil. Vincent D'Onofrio's the Kingpin's probably the fucking best.
Right. A TV show though, not in the movies.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, who the fuck? It was like Mandarin in Iron Man 3 and then Whiplash in Iron Man 2. Both of those were incredibly pointless. No, who was it in? Was it in Iron Man 3? Was it Mandarin? I can't remember.
Yeah, the fake.
It's just not interesting. Not interesting.
Yep.
The only reason Ironmonger was memorable in Iron Man 1 was just because it was like a bigger, badder Iron Man suit. So I love that. But generally, the villains are almost incidental to these movies.
They are, and they, like, some of them have been okay, right? They're not like, I'm not saying they're utterly terrible. I'm just saying they're not standout. We're not talking about Heath Ledger Joker. There's nobody Thanos was a good build up and a proper villain. Absolutely. But yeah, there's been some pretty forgettable villains in the MCU.
Yeah, it's sad. In the Marvel movies that are outside of the MCU, we've had Green Goblin was great. Doc Ock was fantastic. We've had Magneto in the X-Men, was very strong, very strong. But yeah, in actual Marvel movies per se, do you think it's because they're owned by Disney and Disney doesn't just really want to get that evil? I don't know.
I guess. I mean,
like it's for kids. They don't want to make it too bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, here's a proper Iron Man villain, right? And I wish they would have done something like this. Yeah, he's like, he's like Mr. Freeze, but I don't care. This is the one I remember when I was a kid. Not Killian, not like Aldridge Killian. It's like, oh, he's fucking boring. Give me Blizzard.
Yeah,
Blizzard was awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they're not. And moving forward, the villain is going to be white males.
And absolutely everything.
Yep, pretty much. They'll either be buffoons, dupes, or villains.
Director Toxic White Male from WandaVision can be the mastermind for every evil thing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, sure. I mean, Sharon Carter, she was the matchmaker or fixer or whatever it was called. I forget.
She was the
I forget what the title.
The power broker. Yeah.
Power broker. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. She
was Carly was the villain in that fucking. I mean, come on.
Falcon and Winter Soldier became it was about Sharon and Carly. You bitch, Carly.
It was just it was so lame. So lame.
Some Aussie Drongo for 77.76. No better way to start our Sunday. You guys are awesome. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Monday.
That's
but it was
right.
supposed to be Sunday. Eric. When is this tip for Friday? Oh, okay. Destiny Captain for $3. He says, a victory is life. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And we will have victory, Destiny Captain. Nikki D for $5. The retcon to Loki's character makes no sense, given his lack of remorse in Thor 2 for the people he murdered in the first Avengers movie. Why remove this complexity of his character? Because they're stupid. Because they need him to be a good guy now because of the TV series, because of Disney Plus. This is probably a Disney decision, and it's probably some fucking board member who doesn't know shit about shit going, wait, he's the villain? We can't have a Disney Plus series about a villain. That might look bad to the kids who we're trying to indoctrinate.
Right. And yet Thor never, ever says, Loki, you were such a stand-up guy when we were growing up. How come all of a sudden you've turned so evil? He's never made a comment like, Loki used to be a great guy. I mean, I remember, he brought the piñata over on my, 10th birthday, and he was swell. He let me have a few extra swings at it because I wasn't as good at it as he was. It's not like he helped me do my homework or anything. No, Thor wasn't surprised at all. Thor knew that Loki was always a bitch because they weren't going to retcon him into being a hero. So, Thor would have spoken up. If one of your family members was great, the first 18 years of your life, and all of a sudden one morning starts, trying to pee in your cornflakes and drop a 16-ton weight on your head, you're going to detect that, hey, something's gonna miss. Something's a little awry. What could it be? But no, we haven't heard a fucking word. Not a fucking word about Loki used to be great.
No, and he's not supposed to be. He's a god of mischief.
Yes.
Mischief. Even when he's on your side, he's not on your side. He's on his side. And that's what makes him good. And Tom Hiddleston played it great. And it was fucking perfect. And now it's dumb. Now it's going to be dumb. And he's going to be outsmarted by a female version of himself. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nerdstradamus moment here. Okay, so there's There's the Loki TV show, and Loki, we're following a Loki variant. The real Loki in the I don't know what the number is for the MCU. The MCU universe, the 616 is the number for the comic book universe. But the MCU universe, Loki is dead. So we're following a variant who should not exist. And apparently he's got to go and follow all the other variants. There's multiple numbers of variants. And then there's the female variant, who I believe they're after, who they think she's probably doing everything wrong. And my guess is by the end of the show, they'll find out that the female variant was the smart one and the good one all along.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my prediction.
Yep. Even if she does terrible things, it'll be just like Carly. And they will carry her in tears in their arms to, out of the building. It's like, oh, fucking give me a break. She's a fucking terrorist and a murdering bitch in a big mouth. I was like very glad to see her go. There's nothing tragic about it. Just these people they're so out of fucking touch. Not just with us as an audience, not just with the Marvel Comics universe, but just out of what is fucking entertainment and what's good writing. These people have no clue. It's hopeless.
Yeah, is hopeless. Rocky Zadok for $25. Feige specifically told Marcus and McFeely he wanted time travel to be an Endgame. Now that I see what they did in the movie and what's following it, I understand. I'd say he's hedging his bets for when he has to go back the Brinks truck up for Robert Downey Jr. and Evans. Yeah. But Evans is young enough where they can pull him back in and do probably a couple more Cap movies. Unless he just comes back to play Nazi Cap, which is what I think might happen. Robert Downey Jr. is just getting old, man. I mean, I guess he could do a couple more, but you need to recast these roles. And I think they're bringing in the multiverse so they can reset everything. I think that's their get out of jail free card if it goes too woke or if things go off the rails too much. Mm-hmm. But that sucks because we're never going to get a proper captain. We almost got the Marvel universe together, but folks, you saw a 100th of it. But if you want, let's just talk about the core proper Marvel universe. You saw a 10th of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have been a Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, all of the Avengers, including the X-Men. The Beast. There were so many things missing. No Namor, no fucking Namor.
No Defenders. Yeah. Nope. No, man, it's really they have so much source material there. A literal wealth of stories to be told. I mean, it beggars Lord of the Rings. It beggars Lord of the Rings. The amount of characters, history, great arcs, great moments in the Marvel universe. There is no other damn property that has this kind of potential. Not even, I would even argue DC, because a lot of their stories were taken up with, goofy shit like Batmite and Mr. Mystipolix and, Lois turning into Super Lois and Jimmy Olsen turning into a lion or shit really, really bad shit in a period which I love. I love that stuff, but you couldn't make a modern movie out of it.
No, but
ridiculous.
Marvel, you could forever. Was it 50, 60 years?
Oh yeah.
So 5 or 6 decades, you're completely passing up to go right into the all new, all different shit, which is all same garbage. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Rocky Zadok. Darth Gorbag for 2222 says there's a culture war and maybe there's a culture war and maybe a coming political real war, or maybe a real war that must be fought, but I'm weak. No, you're not. And worry that there's not enough I can do besides YouTube, super chats, and Facebook posts that only a couple of leftists will read. Advice, vote, participate in your local elections. And I don't know, to be the best way we can change stuff. Nobody can change the world by themselves. So you just change your little world as much as you can. But the fight, let's pray the fight stays with super chats and memes and shit. let's pray it stays there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, I mean, my next advice would be work out, get in shape, and be ready.
Yep.
But we're not there yet. We're not going to go all, black pill on you. But that would be my next bit of advice. Hardwick Penthal for $1 each. These are two of them here. Hugo Weaving's Red Skull is very underrated, in my opinion. I agree. I would say the top 3 villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are Thanos, Loki, Red Skull. Trying to think.
Got to scratch Loki now. It was the Mind Stone all along.
Yeah, it was the Mind Stone. No, I liked the Red Skull quite a bit.
He was good. Yeah.
And he told me to clean my room. And then there's message for Doom Talk.
What they've done to Jordan Peterson is a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. That man has never said anything racist in his career that I've ever seen. And they just attack him for his intelligence, for trying to make the world a better place. I really don't know. I don't know how. I guess because he goes against the woke narrative. So of course he's an enemy, has to be disposed of and attacked by vastly lesser talents than he. But that's how it is. You know, that's how nature is. You've got jackals that bring down lions, and you've got flocks of crows that take out jackalopes, which is why they're so rare these days. I don't know.
Yeah, jackalopes. Oh, and we have Austin for $3 says Netflix's Love, Death, and Robots is fantastic. Season 2 did come out, I hear. I'll go check it out. The first one was pretty cool.
I never saw the first one. I should watch it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's like little, animated short stories. So. Sam Whiskey, thanks for the that cake is for Doomcock for 99 cents. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, Mikey Gussler for $10. What did you see? Gary, did you see the Heroic Hollywood tweeted a closer look at Catwoman's costume and it looks bad? So does the bat suit. Not impressed with this film like so many others are. Maybe it's just me. No, I'm not. I don't know why they're fucking rebooting Batman. It's ridiculous. Like, let it sit or get a better Batman than somebody who should be playing Nightwing. I'm going to go look at the tweet right now.
Yeah. Get Batfleck back, Get Ben Affleck. He did a great job. He seems committed to it. He seems to care. And God dang it. We really need that next Snyder movie. I want to see the Dark Side movie. I want to see this thing firing on all cylinders. But no, we'll never get it. All we're going to get is this woke garbage, more crap from the cinematic Antichrist. God, what the fuck is wrong with this world? I just don't know.
That's got to be her first costume. That's got to be like initial.
What?
This can't be it.
Is it bad?
Yeah, that's got to be. Oh my fuck! No.
Worse than Cheetah? Better than Cheetah? What the? What?
That's got to be like initial costume, like.
It's like a balaclava that doesn't fit. I don't know.
It's like
a mini balaclava or something. I don't. What the fuck is that?
There's no way I could recognize this woman with this mask on. It is so deceiving.
I've never seen her looking like she's got a Groucho Marx mustache, but other than that, yeah, she's readily identifiable. Oh my God.
Let me see. Did you see the Snake Eyes poster too?
No.
G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. Yeah, it's
I have not been on Twitter for quite a while.
It's good. I'm not seeing the Batman costume there. Now, I don't know how often Heroic Hollywood tweets, but I've gone down their timeline quite a bit. I'm past the Lord of the Rings news, which was from 5 days ago. But I saw a closer look at the Batman costume, and it looks very Arkham Asylum to me, and it's not impressive. And I know it's like Batman Year 2, but that was that's probably my most downvoted video I've done since my early days. Was my trailer reaction to that, and I'm like, you know what? It could be good. That's what I said at the end. This could be good, and I could be completely wrong. But I don't like the look. I just don't like the look of the Bat costume. I don't like it being in year 2. I want to fucking establish Batman. I want a Batman with a full rogues gallery of villains, a Robin, an Alfred, a Batgirl, a Robin and a Nightwing and a Batgirl. Like everything. I want it all. And instead of like, oh, we're at the beginning of Batman, like Ben Affleck's Batman in the Snyderverse was the closest thing to establish, and he was at the end. Robin was dead. Like, right. I want Batman in his prime, like fucking the animated series. And I don't want his origin. Like, leave the Waynes alone. They've died enough. Just fucking open your movie. Like Tim Burton's Batman had it right. Just open up your fucking movie. Batman beats the shit out of a criminal. We're off to the races. Everybody knows his origin. Everybody knows it's Batman. Everybody knows what a Batcave is. Everybody knows what Alfred is. And if you don't know by now, well then shit. You'll probably figure it out in the movie.
Yeah, and if you don't, then maybe Batman just isn't for you.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be for everybody. Jesus. Yeah, I get so sick of these origin rehashes on every fucking Batman movie. Everyone. They did it again on Batman v Superman, where it shows him, son of a bitch, stumbling into the fucking cave yet again. Just place filler, just filler, empty bullshit.
So I don't know what this has got, but I found a picture of the costume at least. That's pretty.
Okay.
I think that's everybody's seen this version of it. And like the ears of the cowl is fine. I don't like this collar thing. It's dumb. Cape is fine. That being the gun from his, it does that's so yeah. The bat symbol is made out of the gun that killed his parents.
Oh, that's stupid.
Fucking stupid. I want to yell. You know what? I want I want the fucking underwear on the outside and a yellow around the fucking bat. That's what I want.
Yes. And I want it to be a bat, not a gun. Why didn't he just gunman then?
And Batman's always wearing fucking armor and shit. It's whatever. With that Batman short film that we saw, that was fucking Batman. That was fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Damn good. I'm going to watch that again later.
Beautiful, beautiful outfit, beautiful acting, beautiful angles. Shoot Batman as carefully as you would shoot a sunset. Every time that you shoot Batman, it should be epic. He should never just be walking around or standing around. He should be a force of mystery, and you should use every camera move and editing trick and interesting angle when you show Batman. He should never just be ordinary. But these directors mostly don't understand that.
They don't. And $100 from Ed Starr. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate you. Hail Gary. Happy birthday, Lord Doomcock. Much love to all the membership worldwide. Much love to all of you. And hope, I hope everybody's safe out there. I hope everybody's safe and and healthy and not under threat of any violence of any kind.
Absolutely. And I just want to thank everyone who participated in my birthday live stream. It was absolutely incredible. It was epic. And I will be doing a super chat square up for all the super chat. I could not cope. And that will be coming out soon. I just want to let you guys know. I have not forgotten. I just had been recovering and celebrating, but that is absolutely coming.
Excellent. But hey, thanks for the heads up on that, Mikey Gussler. You're the best, bud. And thanks again, Ed Starr and Sam Whiskey and Sparks1524 says, moving to Tennessee, hiked down into the Grand Canyon yesterday. Condors, fossils, 4,000-year-old petroglyphs. Woke wankers wish they could compete. Yeah, we're 4,000 of years of storytelling. Sparks1524. They're trying to take over. They are trying to take over with 4 years of storytelling, and they all end the same way. Really shitty and boring. Maybe the next Star Wars film will be Star Wars IG-88. Aurora uplinks for $2. Well, the IG-88 and the IG-11 in The Mandalorian was kind of cool seeing that in action. That was fucking cool.
Oh yeah, they did a great job with that, man. That was the best choreography I think they've done in terms of mapping out a battle sequence. It was incredible. he was amazing, and of course, he's gone now, unfortunately. But God, that was great.
Adrian Alvarez is telling it. Oh, I didn't even know they were on. It's another irrelevant award show on an irrelevant network owned by Paramount Plus. But thank you for letting me know, Adrian Alvarez, for $49.99. Says Mando got robbed tonight. MTV awards went to WandaVision and to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, telling you how fucking rigged they are. It's because those shows are newer and they need people watching them, so they sacrificed Mandalorian. Like, I'm not like the biggest fan of the Mandalorian, but it's fucking better than WandaVision and fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier.
No, tons better, for God's sakes, tons. What a joke! Holy shit, man! No, that's bad. That's just bad.
They're coming. There's a movie coming out in July called The Green Knight, which is a Tolkien. I know Tolkien wrote it, but I don't know if it's originally his story or if his interpretation of another of something. I don't know, or of a story previous, kind of like Robin Hood. It's just a really old story that I don't know, but it looks pretty good. The trailer looked pretty fucking good for it, I will say. Australian for $5 Australian dollars, reading Tolkien nonfiction work and letters. It's Arthurian. It's Arthurian. Shows the thinking that helped build the foundations of the great books, strengths of character, honor, duty. Yeah, shit you learn like when you survive a fucking war. I love that. And good for him. George R. R. Martin wants to show the horrors of war, something he's never seen or never had to be through, and nobody glorifies it. But to assume or even come out saying that Tolkien was glorifying war, I don't know. I don't remember anybody being happy about what they were getting into in that. And man, I can't wait to talk about. Pretty soon, I'm going to break down why George R. R. Martin can never finish his own books. It's not necessarily writing yourself into a corner. It's when you go out to break things, you end up accomplishing that. Mm-hmm. And you can't and if you're going out to subvert tropes, well, in the end of Watchmen, it's pretty nihilistic, but you still had a hero doing a heroic thing, even if that's dying. You still had a hero having to do a heroic thing. And you still need to, if you're going to break down every trope and just end it with, well, then they all walked away. Like, nobody's going to be satisfied with that. And he knows that. So that's why he can never finish his book, because there's no satisfying ending there. I don't know if he's capable of it.
Well, God, why the hell did he start out on this thing then? Did he have an ending? Did he not have an ending? Did it just prove to be lame later? What the fuck?
Well, it was supposed to. Well, the original story was supposed to end with there being a love triangle between Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Arya.
What?
Yep, that was the original plan.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, so it's out there. You can find it on the net. There's a treatment of when he originally planned this to be a trilogy, right? And it was supposed to have like a time jump, and people were supposed to be older, and there was supposed to be a love triangle between Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Arya. Now, it was a much different story. It's turned into a much different story. So that won't be happening this time.
Okay.
As far as, but that's what the original intent was.
I just think they just missed the boat so badly. I mean, there were 3 Targaryens, basically. There was, Daenerys, there was Jon Snow, there was Tyrion, and there were 3 dragons, coincidentally. But we never got into that.
Yeah. Why bother?
Why bother? Let's have her sort of kind of forget about the fleet and then go crazy and kill everybody. Yeah, that's great.
Yep.
Sure. Yeah. And all the stuff, dragons and Tyrion and all that stuff didn't amount to a squirt of piss. Complete waste.
Everything was a waste.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's what Hollywood, I mean, the MCU's going down that road. God. Well, I mean, like, we were a little spoiled. It was 22 movies. But man, it's going so sideways. Sorry I missed your birthday, Doomcock, says Brown Gaijin for $2.
Thank you, Brown Gaijin. No problem, man. No problem.
And I read. Here we go. Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Hail Nerdrotic and Doomcock. Disney sucks like it never sucked before. Disney's revenue is dropping too. This is what I call karma. Absolutely. Mags, thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. Kit Kat, thank you for the 10 pounds. Overlord DVD DVDizzing for us. Overlord DVDizzing for us. That's what Kit Kat said for 10 pounds.
Thank you, Kit Kat.
Sam Whiskey for $4.99. Sky Sharks. The sea is for fish. The sky is for sharks. The movie is better than anything Disney pukes out. Sky Sharks? Well, they've had those in Doctor Who already.
It's not like Sharknado, is it? It's not the sharks are in the sky just because they got blown up there. Do they actually live in the sky? Do they fly around?
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into this now.
I don't know. Do they go up to Olympus way on high and knock on the door and say, Candygram, Mr. Herdifer?
Congo. Oh, shit. Yeah. There's a thing called Sky Sharks. Came out in 2020. Yep. It's a thing.
Sky Sharks.
Oh my God. It's like Nazis on the back of sharks flying around.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, shit. Are you kidding?
Is that like
zombie? Das C is 9 enough.
Got Gatling guns on the side and everything. The C is not enough. Oh, and it says fall 2017, and it came out in 2020.
Well, the Sharks, they weren't performance friendly. And it turns out the producers learned after about the first year that when you put sharks out of water and have them in the sky, well, they die. And
yeah, they do.
It just didn't work out. It was a complicated shoot.
Brown Gaijin for $5. Hero High posted several videos today about Japan mocking SJWs. I think just some guy was on to something regarding U.S. companies localizing titles to fit Polkar. Maybe localizing Brown Gaijin. Like U.S. companies want to make money, all right, but they're dumb. And they're guided by, so the people who are into the industry are disingenuous. So they will guide these dumb companies to dumb places like fucking critical race theory or changing the translations in manga, which Viz has been accused of doing and I think guilty of doing. So we need Japan to know about it, and we need them to stand strong because we know Japan does not love SJWs.
Good for them.
Yep. Bellow Triggerfish for $10. Assemble the accused. Hail, you guys. Hail to you.
Hail.
Nerd Cookies is here, $5. I feel much less concerned about Amazon. I'd feel much less concerned about Amazon's Lord of the Rings if Christopher Tolkien was still alive. Without him, I'm not sure the estate's veto power is being used properly. I'm not either, Nerd Cookies. As with all things, I hope I'm wrong. JWT 6577. I mean, like, we could be.
Could be, but I got a bad feeling about it, and the few things that I've seen are not encouraging.
No, absolutely not. Uh-oh, I lost my train of thought there. Here we go. Here in the Steadfast for $5. If Tolkien or his son is not involved, it's not canon. The Amazon series is just really expensive fan fiction. This is true.
Yeah.
That's what most garbage out of Hollywood is right now. Marvel messed with the rule of two so badly, stupendously, stupendous wave. A guy that tries to always be a cheerleader is calling them out. Here we go again. So they messed with. So they messed with somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that. what that means.
So Marvel messed with the rule of 2. I know that's is it, you're talking about the Collider show? So badly, Stupendous Wave. Oh, okay. So badly, Stupendous Wave, which is a guy who tries to always be a cheerleader, is calling them out. Here we go again. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you there. Yeah. People are starting to recognize like this shit is going way too fucking far. It's ridiculous. But the thing is, I mean, it's an old tune with us. Like years old, and now people are coming around going, yeah. I'm like, oh, because you were rooting on the people calling us Nazis, or you weren't paying attention. I don't know.
Yeah. Johnny come latelys.
Kit Kat. That's the thing. There's Johnny come latelys, which is fine. I understand, as long as they say, hey, I'm a Johnny come lately.
Yeah.
Then okay, no problem. All right.
You're welcome. I mean, if you're willing to, learn and kind of get entrenched and stuff, absolutely, man. There's plenty of room for new people with us. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
But
Always.
it's the posers and the fake fans, the phony fans. That's the problem.
Posers will always out themselves every single time. We see them in the access media all the time. The activists who came out, remember they were nerds before in the gaming industry. You saw this too. Now the mask is off and they're just fucking screeching SJW, fucking leftist, fucking, and political provocateurs and activists.
Mm-hmm.
And there's posers everywhere. There's posers around here.
Yeah.
People who don't give a shit about any of this. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, they just want to get on a bandwagon, or they want to troll, or they want to be Trojan fans and, get wheeled inside the city and then emerge with SJW nonsense, which was really their intent all along.
Yep. And again, posers always out themselves every single fucking time. So yeah, if there's always people cycling in, cycling out, that is the circle of life here in life and on YouTube. Look up Star Wars Bucketheads on YouTube, says Robert, for $5. I did. We could take a peek at it towards the end of the show. I'll most definitely pull it up. We can't play the whole thing, but I'll definitely show a little bit to Doomcock. It's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. Casey Osowski for I read this one, but thank you for the $100 again, Casey Osowski. I appreciate it. Sam Whiskey for $2.99 says, welcome to the rebellion. This shirt is courtesy of Drunk 3PO. Shout out to Drunk 3PO and Gina Carano. The proceeds go to charity. John Thomas for $5. Jar Jar, Darth Kennedy, and Ryanus are the evil trinity. Yes. And hopefully, Rian can go make his Knives Out movies till the end of fucking time. Go ahead. Bye. He's not making his Disney trilogy.
No, I didn't bother to even look at his damn Knives Out movie. I couldn't do it. I like that sort of thing, but not from Ruin Johnson. Sorry.
Grandpappy Fisk for $2. Late happy birthday, Doomcock. Hail Gary. Hail Babylon 5.
Hail Babylon 5. Great show, man.
Hail Babylon 5. Fucking awesome show. And I will admit that I probably could have finished Jupiter Legacy, but I decided to watch some Babylon 5 instead.
You were wise.
Jack White from the White Stripes. Where's Meg? You two guys need to get back together. Boycott the DC Jar Jar U. Watch, read anime, manga like My Hero Academia, because I can read, and One Piece. Yes, I haven't read them, but yes, they're going to be better than the bullshit that the DC Jar Jar U is going to come out with.
Absolutely. And I'm actually reading right now Dark Horse Omnibus editions of the anime manga I Am a Hero. And I've got 4 of them that I was sent by as a gift, and I thank you for that. I really love this manga, but like the rest of them seem to be out of print. And if anyone out there would be willing to sell me some of their used copies or something, shoot me an email at dictorvandoomcock@gmail.com. I need like volumes 5 through 11, and I'm having trouble locating them. I've been on a hunt for them and have failed every single time. So if anyone happens to have those, please contact me, because they're apparently out of print or something. I can't seem to find them.
Oh, I hope you do. Well, you know what? Putting the word out The chat is always great and resourceful. They will find it for you. I'm confident.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I'm hoping. These guys know their stuff, and there's people way more connected in manga and anime than I am. That shit, they might have some that might even have extra copies they would be willing to sell me or something.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And again, what's your email again?
DictorVanDoomcock@gmail.com.
There you go. The Old Man for $10. Jupiter's Legacy could be good, but pacing is so slow. Also, I agree with that. Who needs another deconstruction of the superhero? What the world needs now is more Superman.
Yes.
Lois and Clark returns next week. Very excited about that. But you're right. We've got what if Superman was a dad and kids were unhappy and drug addicts? What if Superman was completely insanely evil and part of a corporation? There's so many what if Supermans, this or that. And believe me, they've just begun with the comic books, folks. And it's like, what if Superman was a fucking hero and an inspiration? That's what I'd like to see.
Right. I mean, we even had to suffer through that a little bit in the Snyder cut, when he showed up and he didn't have his memory, and he interpreted all this stuff as a threat and hostile. And so we get to see him kick total ass for a while before, Lois comes and says, "Hey," and he goes, "Oh." So, I mean, that is rampant, and it's just really old at this point. God bless Christopher Reeve. Wish we had him back. He was it. He was the man.
Yeah. He was it. Hey, Gary, did you get my tweet about the Lord of the Rings diversity hirings? As if we have to tell, if we have to, will make our own Lord of the Rings with blackjack and hookers, says Vabint for $10.
With blackjack and hookers?
Why not? I mean, if we're gonna do it, let's do it that way. It sounds a lot more fun than being woke. I did play a Hobbit slot machine in Vegas when I was there. There's a giant Hobbit slot machine in what hotel were we staying in again? I can't remember. It was MGM. I think it was MGM I was staying in. I forgot.
Hobbit slot machine.
Giant Hobbit slot machine.
Wow. And did you lose?
Fuck yeah, I did.
Well, maybe they weren't really hobbits after all. Maybe they were from Mordor.
Yeah.
Evil hobbits.
For $5. The bar is so high in Lord of the Rings. Is it even possible to make that show right now? Probably not. No. Yes, the bar is too impossibly high. And I mean, forget all the woke shit. It would be difficult enough to make this with all the resources in the world, because throwing money at a problem is probably the last thing you want to do at a big project. You want to limit them. You want to force them to be more creative.
Yeah, you really do. And it's the constraints can be a great stimulant and impetus to higher creative engagement, where you're forced to make more with less. It really engages a filmmaker and makes him rise to the challenge. And unfortunately, it's throwing money at this shit. And the last thing, when you've got a big pile of money, the last thing these people seem to do is spend any of it on a script. And you don't have a script, you don't have anything. I don't give a shit. You don't have anything. You've got to have more than anything else. Action alone is boring. Just having action without any kind of character consequence, without any kind of actual caring about who's involved in that action, it is empty spectacle, and you just want to check your watch and get the fuck out of there. I see that over and over again. Primal in just 20 minutes with no dialogue makes you absolutely care about Spear and Fang. And you get real with those breathtaking action sequences that Tartakovsky directs, because of the context, because we care about the characters. And something like one of the things that always bugged me about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is the pacing of the action, because it just is endless and goes on and on and on with the thuggies and the runaway mine car, and there's no texture. Like Raiders was perfect. Raiders had like action scene, calming down and reflecting on it, then action scene, and each one seemed to escalate in a beautifully, wonderfully artistic way. And when you get clubbed over the head, it just all starts to blend together. And unfortunately, that kind of nuance is really lacking in action films these days for the most part.
Yep. I love Temple of Doom for what it is, but same way, I hate the raft scene, jumping out of the plane. Can't stand that. That's as bad as the fucking refrigerator in Crystal Skull, in my opinion. And I hated it then. But I thought it was such a good opening scene. God, great opening scene. I love it. Oh God, it was so fun. So like but I've warmed up to it a lot since then, and I love Last Crusade. So
yeah, no, I do love the movie, but I love it more as like to me it feels like an old pulp adventure that is not necessarily Indiana Jones, because he really doesn't it is not a proper prequel to Raiders. I mean, at the end of Temple of Doom, he believes in the mystical power of the Sankara stones. And what, all of a sudden he's forgot about that when he's sneering in the library about lightning, fire, power of God or something. I'm not talking about hocus pocus. I'm going after this great, come on. And he was so shy with women, in Raiders. I mean, he wasn't really, like when the girl like closed her eyelids and said, love you on them. And he was just absolutely flustered. But here he is whipping Willie and pulling her to him and being all kind of smarmy. And it was a great pulp action hero, but it wasn't really Indiana Jones as he was portrayed in Raiders. So I've made my peace with that. It's like, okay, this is like Doc Savage or somebody like that. And it's a wonderful, fun fucking time. But and then they got back to the character much better in Last Crusade.
Well, and there's big differences between like the crew and producers and and some writing with Raiders and of course Temple of Doom that you can see big differences you can see. But Raiders, perfect film, perfect tone. That is Indiana Jones. That's
doesn't get better than that.
Fuck, his interest is so good. Oh God.
I love that movie, and but I do love the opening, like you said, to Temple of Doom. Spielberg having fun with the kind of madcap screwball comedy and opening musical number. When the antidote keeps getting kicked, and then the ice gets lost, the diamond gets lost in the ice. I mean, it was a very, very choreographed kind of screwball fun opening. Indiana Jones movies, they have a lot of fun. All of them have a lot of fun.
And we don't need another one. We really don't.
No. And we're not going to get another one too. I mean, there'll be a movie called Indy 5, but like Spielberg's not going to direct it. It looks like maybe Kennedy is going to get to produce it as a, lovely parting gift. I don't know. For her silence, I don't know. That's no the rumor. I don't know.
No George Lucas, no Spielberg, no fucking Indiana Jones. Okay. Nope. Protege Music for $5. I love you guys. Been broke lately. Sorry about that. Investing into my stream, but still here. Thanks for all the awesome content. You're welcome. And good luck with your stream. I appreciate that. Fake name for $5. Anyone that demands more diversity has A, no concept of global population, and B, no concept of math. Thank you. Especially coming from, a part of the world. Yeah, it's just disingenuous shit. He needs Lord of the Rings to be less white. Lord of the Rings. That's what he was saying. Kit Kat for £5. Hail to the wrenches. These live chats are going to be a wrench's nightmare for a while, and without their hard work, it would be impossible for us. Kit Kat, hail to the wrenches, by the way. Yeah. I hope they're not a nightmare. These aren't intended to be a nightmare. And if they are, well, the wrenches will let me know, and I'll take care of business. I'll do what I need to do. They're supposed to be. Listen, people can talk here. People can have, but we're here to have fun and mock Hollywood. See, because we keep our eye on the prize here. We go for the real problem, which isn't fans, which isn't individual fans. Not everybody has to get along. That's totally fine. And if they don't, you freedom of association. That's what you got. It's a free country. But damn it, we need to focus. Keep your eye on the prize. 99 Iron Duke for $5 Australian. If they make Lord of the Rings woke, feminist, and diverse, it will be the biggest financial bomb in history. Yes, it will. And we will be there to document every single moment of it.
And to laugh our asses off.
Yep. And once again, thank you, Kit Kat, for hailing the wrenches. And thank you, 99 Iron Duke. Joe Kim Stark for 20 Swedish krona. We want an as like war cry from the final from the FNT panelists. Well, they're not here, but I can give you a war cry. Hang on.
Okay.
That was Az getting genuinely scared from Resident Evil 8. I don't know. I guess it's a scary game, so he cried like a little girl. And we got the sound of it. It was funny. Hail to the best dynamic duo on YouTube. Why, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
PJ, Orville Nation for $10. Check out Orville Nation. One of the good guys. JT for $5. Frodo is going to be a Black gay Irishman in the show and be shipped with a transgender Indian Samwise Gamgee. Yeah, and they're not even supposed to be in the story. Negative, thank you for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate it. So keep it up. I will keep it up as long as I can. If it goes longer than 4 hours, I'll call a doctor. I promise you. Hey-o. Where's your trail? That's the wrong one. See, I was ready. No, that's not it either. Get over there. That's what I wanted. JT for $2. Also, hashtag Orc Lives Matter.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Talking about the what did AD&D that can no longer have orcs?
Yeah,
or they can't be discriminated against as evil. Come on, for fuck's sake.
Because there's people in the world who see black people as orcs, which is the worst form of racism I could possibly imagine, because what description there is of orcs, they don't look like people. Okay. Right. So, my God, if simpletons, there's a lot of simpletons running around. There's simpletons on this platform. There's simpletons everywhere. And it's up to us to educate them or get away from them as far as possible. I don't know. It's too easy to vote. That's all I can say. Bellow Triggerfish for $20. I am more and more checking out of traditional entertainment, spending more time with my favorite YouTubers, or play some mindless video game. But I think it's time for fans to make their own entertainment, self-publish. Absolutely. If you have the resources, the time, and the talent. And I think, it's tough to collaborate, but collaborate with people too. Maybe if you don't have enough talent to do something all on your own, you can team up with a couple of people, make a graphic novel or make a book, co-write a book with somebody. Maybe somebody's better at dialogue. That's the way you can do it too. Resources, though, that's an important thing. Or more importantly, just make a story for yourself. Go out and I'm going to make a story for myself. That's what Tolkien did. He did have a financial motive, but it started out, he admitted it too. But it started out, handwritten book, dude. He wrote the book by hand.
Nice.
Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast for $665. With the direction this is likely headed, I'd say bring on the rise and victory of the Dark Lord. Hashtag stop the Hobbit.
Sauron was right.
Sauron was right. Fizzenthorpe for $20. Gary, the big red flag will be when they say, oh, I read this one. So there you go. Thanks. Sent email to DVD about tonight's 60 Minutes UFO segment. Oh, what? There was a 60-minute. Well, I haven't watched 60 Minutes. When's the last time you watched 60 Minutes? I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it in a long time. I'm behind on my emails. I did not see that. Damn it. Well, interesting.
It'll be on YouTube. So tonight's things are really heating up. Will Exozone return to cover these current events? Yes. Doomcock and I need to work out a day, like when he's freed up. And then yes, because there's been a lot of UFO news. There's been Jeremy Corbell came out with something new a couple of days ago.
I saw that.
Yeah. Which was pretty good. There's disclosure is happening, and we should probably be a little worried at this point.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, they certainly are accelerating this stuff. And why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. So there will be an Exozone, and we will try to get to the answers.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Negative for $4. Thank you for the cup of Joe there. It's a cup of Joe. I appreciate it. Anthony Dural for $5 Australian. Cowardice of silence is its own crime of history. People who speak up after it's too late are condemned by the history books forever. Yeah. I mean, like, when we speak up about things like after shit's gone down and like all the dust is settled, yeah, it doesn't do a lot of good. Doesn't do a lot of good. You usually got to nip it in the bud.
A lot easier at that point than waiting till it's full blown enough that you're threatened enough that you do respond, and usually by then it's too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had Frodo is going. Okay, I read that one. Damn it, I hate it when I do this. There we go. Soul Graven for $6.66, the super chat of the beast. Happy birthday again, Lord Doomcock. Long live the Inquisition. Long live the Inquisition.
Thank
Doomcock.
you, sir. Thank you.
Lyle Hammock. Hey, did you guys hear about Anthony Jackie? Said he made his kids watch Falcon and the Woke Soldier. He should be arrested. Should be arrested for child abuse. Hail, both of you. Would love to send both of you some coffee from my mother's coffee. Love you guys. Hell yeah. Lyle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
If one of my mods could throw the PO box for both of us in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate that. If you can't, let me know and I'll do it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Shoot me an email at dictorvandoomcock@gmail.com and I'll get you that address.
Darius Munchausen for $2. Happy birthday, Doomcock.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Hail Darius.
Paul Turner for $10. Is this the death of culture? So-called creatives trying to reinvent the wheel and coming up with something that only pleases their own egos. What can men do against such reckless hate? Oh, I like that, Paul.
Nice.
Ride with me. Ride with me. For glory? No. For your people. That's what you need to do. We need to ride together. Let this be the hour that we draw swords together.
Damn right.
We don't sit down. We don't roll over. We don't start fucking fighting with each other. That's the dumbest shit you can possibly fucking do. You know, that's all I can say.
Don't lose the eye on the prize, man. Don't forget who the real enemy is out there.
Eye of the tiger, man. Eye of the tiger.
Eye of the tiger. That's right.
Damn, I want to watch those movies again. That was so much fun talking to you guys about those.
It was. It really was. It was
a
good series. Very, very good series. That and the Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes series. Two series that really maintained their quality through 4 movies.
Absolutely. There was a guy named Tom Hatton out of LA, and he was like he did like the Saturday midday movie. And he would also, so it'd be a movie and then he'd host, like, throw in some Popeye cartoons. So like, of course I watch this guy all the fucking time, and he was on Sunday, I think too, but he'd always show Planet of the Apes movies. It was fucking great. Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah. They're fun.
Hey, Gary. Long time. Okay. Hey, Gary. Long time viewer. First time super chat. Why? Thank you. Be gentle. Enjoy your work. Keep up the great work. Went to my local Barnes and Noble today. Western Comics had 20 shelves to themselves. Manga had 42. Well, there you go. Western Comics are dead. They're fucking dead. And listen, we don't want the vacuum of the Western comic book, the American comic book, sucking down the indie comic books with them, because that could happen. It's something that doesn't get talked about enough, but people are running to manga, and I'm great. I'm glad that it's successful, but man, somebody needs to start competing with it, like today, not yesterday, not 3 weeks from now. You need to start competing with manga now, today. You are no longer competing against the American comic book. They are no longer competition for you, indie comic book creator. Now you got another one. And that's why I said when Berserker came out, it was time to level shit up. I don't know how you do it, but you got to level shit up, because you have serious competition. And if publishers start getting into that game too, which they're gonna, because that was a big fucking success. Shit. I went in that comic store, which doesn't really specialize in new comics, and there was posters for that book everywhere. So, yep. And it's sold out. A demonstrably obsessive love of trees should be a prerequisite for anyone adapting Tolkien. That is true. The man loved his trees. JVL for $4.99. He really did. Tolkien was a devout Christian and a professor of Anglo-Saxon and a British soldier who fought on the Somme in World War I. He wrote Lord of the Rings as specifically English and British myth. You are absolutely correct. 99 Iron Duke for $10, because they didn't have one. Hilarious to watch the cancel cult obsessive go after anime and manga, and the utter contempt which the Japanese have responded. Kit Kat for 5 points. I love that. I need to see examples of that. That is a beautiful thing of telling him to fuck off, which is all you need to do. That's how you should respond. Right? Yeah. We say no or fuck off.
Absolutely. Or just ignore them. Just fucking their all their power is given to them by you when you respond to them. Just don't.
You have no power here. Toddzilla for $10. Honest question, gents. Wasn't Lord of the Rings a little bit woke because the elf girl didn't exist in the books?
What?
So they didn't. So they didn't add it into make it a love story? That's just what I heard. Lord of the Rings woke. No, no,
I don't think so. No.
I'm going to see if I can pull up an article on this, because I do have. Hang on. Hang on. On the wrong keyboard.
I mean, they did have, the Rohan, rider that had the, was good with the sword, and eventually, no man can kill.
But that's the book.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's not necessarily woke. I mean, it was kind of built into the plot.
Yeah. No, that was called, that was progressive for its day. But if you're talking about Arwen was put in because they felt like they needed another woman. And she's mentioned in the books, but in the appendices, and it's pretty much fucking it. She's not. So they decided to bring her in. She was originally supposed to be in the Battle of Helm's Deep, and the fans found out about it, lost their fucking mind, and they listened to the fans and took it out. And they later said that, you know what, you don't have to show a woman in battle to show her strength, and you saw her strength, and she was a great addition to the movie, and it was good. Actually, I think it added to it.
Oh yeah. When an elf chick looks that hot, don't hesitate to add her.
Yeah.
Add away. Add more. Make her twins. Put her throughout the movie.
I have her action figure. I have an Arwen action figure.
Smoking hot. Smoking hot. Oh my God. That woman looks so good in pointy ears. It's just like,
It's not a doll. It's an action figure, man. Chainsaw Man, Hell's Paradise, Witch and the Beast, Kaiju, number 8. Just recommending newer manga for the comic crowd other than usual JoJo and Berserk.
Good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Keep it coming, man. How do I pronounce that? Scipion Ninja. Thank you for the $5. Justin White for 5 Canadian pesos. I genuinely like Bad Robot's original stuff. All of it. Even Dollhouse. That's not Bad Robot wasn't Dollhouse. Did Bad Robot do Dollhouse with Joss Whedon?
They might have. I don't know.
But
I didn't watch it. I didn't really watch it.
Yeah, I watched Dollhouse and I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, maybe it was Bad Robot.
Yeah. And I would say Fringe is the only thing I liked.
That was the watch being stopped and right twice a day. You know what I mean? It was just one of the weird anomalies. Maybe executives were riding herd on them and wouldn't put up with this not resolving things shit, this mystery box garbage. But I mean, all the usual suspects worked on that, including Akiva Goldsman, who's one of the worst things ever. I used to think he was the cinematic Antichrist, but no, he was just the herald for one far more terrible than he that would come along after. Sad.
Sad. James Cocker for £5. Hail Gary and Doomcock. The more I hear about this Amazon Lord of the Rings, the less hopeful I get. If they Last Jedi Lord of the Rings, I'm going to lose it for Theolengus. Yes, I absolutely agree. I got a video coming out. I do have a video. Yeah. It's coming. I
imagine.
It's going to be hopefully fucking Tuesday. It's not going to be out tomorrow. Let's be real. I always say Monday and then I fuck around and like re-edit this and that, and it'll be out Tuesday and be kind of late, but whatever. I have a lot to say in this one, a lot. And it's not all about that article. So it's about fucking Western culture. It's more about Western culture, which what's this fucking story is about. I mean, there's actual lines in it. Like, do you want to hear the black speech heard throughout the West? That is a line from Gandalf. And there's basically an analogy here for SJWs. We have Wormtongue, the character of Wormtongue. Man, there's a lot of Wormtongues out there. There's a lot whispering in poor Theoden's ear, poisoning his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Helping poison his mind. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He
was almost on the thumbnail, this close to being on the thumbnail for this one. I actually had 3 thumbnails. I chose this one because I like the look on the face. Andy Masterson, who made that action figure. Fucking awesome. Currently building a new Bad Robot Torture. Oh, I want to see it. See it.
Yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Not another dime. Thank you for the thumbs up. Greatly appreciate you. Culture will be smaller and more fractured. I agree with that. I've been saying this since the late Obama era. I think mass American media, Hollywood culture is dead, but the lead to populism and 4 great years fight on. The Grizzly for $10. We will fight on, and we'll see what comes out the other end. We will, though, and we will win. It's just what's it going to look like? Primer for $5. Hail Gary and Doomcock. Remember how Frank died at the end of Hellraiser? That's what's going to happen to Lord of the Rings. Death by hook dismemberment. Jesus wept. Yeah, man, I haven't watched Hellraiser in a long fucking time, dude, but I do remember that. Yes.
It was a great movie. He was all stretched out and he goes, Jesus wept. And then they just rip him apart. Well, they said they'll tear your soul apart, and Cenobites, they're true to their word, man. You solve that lament configuration, they will show up, and they're not pals.
No, It's one of Mrs. Nerdrotic's favorites.
It's a good one. Love it.
It is. Tolkien was almost a prophet when he wrote Lord of the Rings, that the wisdom of the West was forgotten and the world fell into darkness. How eerily spot on. It's exactly what it is. Raised by Wolves for $10. It is Western culture personified. That's what it is. Over and under will hear immortality if Elvish. Over and under will hear immortality if Elvish is. Sorry, you put if. It threw me off. We'll try this again. Russell Campbell for $5. Over under on one will hear immortality is Elvish privilege in the Bezos Lord of the Rings. Immortality is Elvish privilege, and that's what causes a rift with some of the Numenorians and the elves. And what causes that rift? Sauron, and he could say things like privilege. Yes.
Oh God, this thing could be so bad. I don't know. I almost hope it's this bad, just so we can just tear into it every fucking week. But I'd rather it be good, but I'm just saying there is at least that upside that if it's really, really bad, shit, it's almost like Christmas came early,
99 Ire Duke for $5 Australian. At least 90% of what Hollywood makes today is nothing more than anti-straight white male propaganda. Pretty much.
Yep.
Remember when we were just fucking called crazy for that? And
yeah. And that racism, sexism had nothing to do with it. It was just they thought we were dorks. That's it. That's the worst that we were called. It didn't mean we were evil. It just meant we were dorks, and it's a badge of honor.
Negative for $5. Happy Inquisition Day for the experts, the ones knowledgeable. To Gary and Doomcock and all the wrenches, beware, your enemy is tricky. Negative for $5. Yes, we are always aware of what's coming from all sides.
Indeed.
Justin White for 5 Canadian pesos. The line went TV went bad has a specific trigger. When Trudeau was elected, it was a huge sign that they were losing, and they freaked out and went all in. I don't know what the Trudeau.
Did he mean Trudeau? Is he talking about Canada?
Yeah, because it says Trudeau. So you meant Trudeau? Trudeau. I listen, as far as what's going on in Canada, I mean, your rights are being violated every single day,
Yeah, it's complicated over there.
It's bad. Stellar Lucas for $10. Lord of the Rings is a parable to all the parables in the Bible. Even the divine agents is related to the Tower of Babel and divine council. It's truly a masterpiece and a love letter to the Bible, says Stellar Lucas for $10.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with that. I'm not that familiar with the Bible, so I'll take your word for it. I just love the fucking story. I believe it. I mean, the man was very devout, and it's going to be it's going to be fucking funny. I'm going to straight out say it. It's going to be funny because, like I said earlier, when it comes to LGBTQ plus representation, and I know Doomcock thinks the same, I don't give a shit. I make your own TV show filled with it. I don't care. It doesn't need to be in every single story. It's not important to this story. As a matter of fact, romance isn't important to this story. I could live. I mean, it's nice to see it once in a while just as a character motivation, but I could live without it completely of any kind. I just want to see fucking warriors and fucking elves and swords and battle. That's what I want to see. Yeah. And some intrigue and this beautiful world that he created. And if they can do it, just like they did in the films, I don't know how without John Howe and Alan Lee, who are the two artists that visualize it perfectly. But it's going to be funny to see some of the scholars and experts spin this one when we see LGBTQ plus representation in Tolkien's work.
Yeah. I bet you it's coming.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be very surprised if it's not coming.
Yeah. You guys ever miss G4 TV? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you watch that. Yeah.
I liked it. I hear it was coming back along with the same old shows, X-Play, Attack of the Show. If possible, would you two do shows on G4? I mean, it's awesome that you're bringing us up for that. I appreciate that. But nah, I wouldn't do it.
Probably not.
Yeah. I love
Probably
doing
not.
it. Yeah.
We like what we're doing, and I think what we're doing, frankly, is more successful than what would be on G4. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
G4 was the precursor, and I think one of their biggest fucking mistakes was not talking enough about geek shit and comics. They went way too into the fucking technical stuff, and if they would have done more geek shit, they would have been more successful. More people were like, Attack of the Show was for a little while absolutely required viewing. I was at my comic store and I would go home from work early to watch Attack of the Show and then come back and close the shop. And now, we're not friends or anything like that, but we've DM'd a few times. Chris Gore, from DVD Tuesday, like, watches our stuff sometimes, and that's fucking rad because that's a guy I watched, and he actually wore my comic shop shirt one day.
Nice.
Which was cool on a show. That was fucking insane. But no, I think what we do is way beyond that now. I think, there were certain phases, and you had your Campias and the Colliders, which I didn't watch, to be honest with you guys, which we're trying to be like the ESPN of nerd. But it's turned into its own thing now. It's like, I don't want to be the ESPN. I don't want to be some slick thing, I just wanted to, our channels, our brands, what we're doing, what we do together, what we do separate. We're much more free. We don't have people fucking breathing down our necks. And yes, there's Mama Susan, but there's no boss. There's no fucking boss except for us.
Mm-hmm. And I like it that way.
Yep. I think there's a lot of great channels. Doomcock's one of the best. I think there's a lot of great fucking channels out there. You have a lot to choose from. You are lucky. I would have loved this much geek content to choose from, but God, all we had was crappy fucking websites like Bleeding Cool, and then occasionally Attack of the Show. And let's face it, most of the people on that show were fucking posers, including Olivia Munn, like the queen of all posers.
Yeah, what a phony. I mean, she was just playing off of her beauty and kind of geek lust, and just as soon as it didn't suit her anymore, she dropped the charade.
Yep.
She didn't live it.
The blonde the cute little blonde that filled in for her was great. I liked her a lot. Much better. Now, I did walk behind Olivia Munn in her Slave Leia outfit at Comic-Con with the director of Fanboys very slowly across Harbor Boulevard. I was toxic. I was male. God, it was a great moment. It really was.
She did look great. I mean, don't get me wrong. She was very sexy, but
but she was a fucking poser. She didn't know what the fuck
she was. Yeah.
Yep. God, listen to her now. Again, posers will out themselves every single fucking time.
They will. And I don't know what's happened with Chris Hardwick. I mean, it's just like he sold his soul doing all these, after the Walking Dead ass kissing things, even when Walking Dead went bad. I mean, you can't do that kind of shit. He did it for other things too. I can't remember exactly what, but he was kind of like their resident Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
He used to be cool. I really liked him on Web Soup.
Web Soup, and then he did that game show on MTV when MTV was playing music. Will Wheaton. Will Wheaton. Never liked him.
No, nobody did. That's why he's kissing ass, and his show bombs on YouTube every time he does it. It's just, yeah. He recently said today, I saw a tweet that Will Wheaton said, Twitter is just so full of Yahtzees. He used the N-word instead of Yahtzees, but still. And then he said, that's why I use and advocate this. And it was this blockchainer type of thing. Because Will, he's sensitive.
What fucking filled with not see that's
he said it. He said it.
What a fuck. And like, okay, there's no Nazis out there. There's no fucking Nazis out there. If there were, fuck Nazis. I fucking hate Nazis.
Absolutely. 100%.
Fuck 100%. Nazis and fuck commies. Okay. Fuck them all.
Amen.
But there's more commies than there is Nazis. Okay. There's 1,000 Nazis in fucking prisons, probably up in Pelican Bay right now. Or maybe a couple riding around on whatever. But they're not marching down streets, burning down fucking businesses.
No. But isn't that just typical? What bullshit. He tweeted that out. Twitter is full of Nazis. And so I just stay away from it, but it helps to go ahead and use this blockchain thing. And then he posted a link to this to ban massive groups of people that don't tell you what you want to hear because you're a sensitive little snowflake piece of shit.
And that's going to be the end of Twitter. Twitter's like trying, for one, Twitter's not making money, folks. So they're trying to figure out ways to monetize it because they're not getting shit for ad revenue. And they're fucking partisan. So they're going to introduce, they keep thinking about introducing like some subscription, like upper tier, whatever. Oh, I hope they do it too, because the vast majority of the audience that actually uses Twitter doesn't have the money to pay for that. So that will be fucking a hilarious disaster.
Especially the communists masquerading as Gen Z. All of them out there. It's like, hey, why don't we give communism a try? Yeah, that's never been tried. These people with the fucking memories of hamsters. These people, they don't think anything before they were born is relevant. They don't care about anything that happened before they were born. They're not interested enough to look into the history, the sad, sorry history of ruin and broken dreams that is communism throughout the ages. Hey, why don't we try communism? You fucking morons. God almighty. Ugh.
You almost want them to get their world. But they won't. They'd be the last person who could survive it. It just, when Twitter bites the dust, the world will get immediately better the next day. Cisco 8 for $5. Just add in more Easterling characters. No need to change the race when they do in fact exist. They're not just focused on. Exactly. There is diversity in the world already, but no, they're thinking about, I've already heard, like on the onering.net, they did a live stream, and one of the first things out of somebody's mouth was, I can't wait to see diversity.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, really? Is that how you
fucking turd?
You fucking moron. And that person is just like, I'm this is what I want to open with, so I look like the best person. Fucking piece of shit.
Exactly. Exactly. I want diversity. Everyone, please applaud me. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. They don't have any kind of caring or aesthetic sensibility. All they want to do is rack up some fucking points on Twitter. It's just so pathetic, transparent, and sad. Ugh.
Dag the Gnome for 10 Canadian pesos says, you guys just don't get it. Tom Hiddleston is just too damn attractive to be a bad guy. How can the shippers who make up what's left of the Marvel audience fantasize about the bad guy? Pretty easily, right? I mean, or not.
Well, they don't have any imagination is the problem.
That's right.
That's why they need to see themselves on screen, because they're narcissists and they can't project onto people who don't look like them. It's sad. It's a deficiency.
Yes. Fucking, is there anything more annoying than an insecure narcissist? No. For $5, it's like, fucking figure one out. Okay.
Yeah.
Please. You're obsessed with yourself and you hate yourself. And everything's about you. Okay. That's great. Loki is a chaotic, neutral. Disney Marvel cannot deal with the ambiguity and the subtlety. No, subtlety. No. Bun 299 for $10. One of my favorite types of stories is a villain redemption story going all the way back to Vader in Return of the Jedi. Good in everyone. Saying Loki was good along kills his story completely. Could not agree more. That same way. It's important. He was bad before, and he does right once in a while, but he's still fucking Loki. Yeah, they always do. You know what? That's how they destroyed Venom too. Venom was a great villain, then they made him an anti-hero, and it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've done I know people are gonna like the movie, and I even like the movie for a stupid movie, but I preferred him as a Spider-Man villain. He was a great villain. Now that we've had Doomy's birthday party, the next big celebration at Overlord DVD will be for 300,000 subscribers. It won't be long. That'd be awesome. It won't be long.
I hope so. I hope that'll happen. We'll see.
George for $5. Clearly, leftist antitheism. I need to be able to pronounce this word. Antitheism has gotten so bad they even need to destroy the Victorian and forward era mythologies in order to destroy all iconic heroism. Yes, they're going to go back to the Greek mythology and try to destroy that.
Yeah.
That's all part of Western civilization.
Yeah. Well, they're toppling each pillar one by one, waiting for the whole scaffolding to collapse. That's coming.
Michael Beacon for $10. Loki, see how they have no problem removing a man's agency, in this case for 15 years of movies. But if you were to suggest that Black Widow was a Mind Stone puppet, they blow their stacks. Yep.
Yeah. Or Wanda.
Or Wanda.
A male was putting her thoughts in her head. Oh,
it's terrible.
Absolutely. But there you go.
Sparks 1524 says for $5 says hail and happy birthday, oh great Lord Doomcock.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Anyone else waiting to see if Eternals copied Aaron M. Johnson's New God script? It was a damn masterpiece. I haven't seen it. I'll have to read that. Cisco, I wouldn't put it past him, but DC will probably copy it. Jarade for $19.99. Since all villains will be male, they will probably be the most interesting, well-written characters. That's true. I love it that Eric July came out and just straight up said, yeah, the only interesting characters right now are white men because they are too afraid to write black men and with any complexities right now because they're so afraid to be called racist. Shit, even oh my God, the rapper Glover, Don Glover came out and said that we're getting a bunch of mundane, homogenous crap because people are afraid to write. Like you're hearing it here and there, and they've fucking known this for years. They're just paying the consequences. See, they were okay with it when it was political times. Now that political times are over, the party's over, and they're like, fuck, we have just demonized half the country, and you still have Will Wheaton, who hasn't gotten the memo yet because he's such a fucking dumb shit out there still calling people fucking Nazis. And he hasn't gotten his latest update. Fucking shithead. Albatross for $5. Loki always was and always will be a weaselly weasel. End of discussion. Yep. Darth Gorbag for $5.55. I am declaring it right now, just like with Captain Marvel. The entirety of the Phase 4 is not canon. Doomcock's law applies.
Absolutely. Well, they're going ahead and they're subverting the work of Stan Lee, who actually created this shit. Then it cannot be canon. They have no goddamn moral right to subvert the work of another creator. If they're contradicting it, it's not canon.
Which they're going to contradict. Well, shit. Captain Marvel contradicted it immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that shit does not apply.
All right. We're almost through with this run. I'm going to, cause I know you got to go soon. And I got to go soon too. So I'm going to try to find stuff that goes to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Shadow Fenrir 24 for $5. Hail Doomcock and Gary. Haven't watched you guys in a bit due to work and on leave. The final season of Castlevania came out and it was very fantastic. Oh, that's good to hear.
Good.
Did Warren Ellis have anything to do with it or was he canceled? That's my question.
I don't know.
Daryl the Derelict for $5. Hail Nerdrotic. Love that shirt. Hail my Lord Doomcock. All IPs are doomed. All superheroes now look like overrated sock puppets, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that Miss Marvel costume was shit.
It's a joke. Oh, Marvels, they're calling it. Oh my God. I hope they had some quotes around it or some irony intended, because there's nothing marvelous about that shit.
Brian Riffle for $5 says Catwoman, that's probably her actual costume because it's year one. Is it year one or year two? I'm always confused by this.
I don't know whether Matt Reeves is year one or year two. I really haven't heard, so I'm not sure, but it's one of those. And again, it's Batman learning. And when you have Batman learning, he's not really Batman yet. And I'm just sick and tired of seeing Batman movies where Batman isn't Batman yet. It's kind of like when we had, the Star Trek movies, honestly. I love the original series movies, but we hardly ever got a movie with an Enterprise that was fully staffed, fully operational, and not a prototype and not understaffed or packed with training cadets. It was weird, man.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. And think about it. Well, yep. And in Return of the Jedi, Han wasn't in the fucking Falcon. Not once. Bugged the shit out of me. Absolutely bothered the shit out of me.
Well, it should. It should.
Yep. Han and Chewie not in the fucking Falcon together for the last movie. Are you fucking kidding? Not for 5 minutes?
Yeah. Not even at the end.
Not
Very
even at
regrettable.
Yeah. Couldn't stand that. Let's see. We got one more. And let's see if there's any on this side. Oh, I'm working with 2 mouses and 2 computers here. So
complexity increasing.
Hurting brain. All right, we're good. If any more popped up, then if it's really, I could probably answer the question myself. Let me refresh it one more time, and then you could probably be free to go enjoy the rest of your post-birthday.
Well, actually, what I'm going to do is get my ass in bed and get up early and get back to work on videos, because, taking even a few days off just to enjoy your damn birthday, it just puts you so far behind. God, I'm feeling the pressure, dude.
Oh, that's why I have to put time limits on these things. I have to compartmentalize my life, because when Melissa's gone, it's impossible, because I gotta watch the kid, hang out with him, spend time.
Yeah. Is she not there tonight?
Yeah, she goes she comes home for like 2.5 weeks and then leaves for like a week, 10 days, and does stuff at the house and cuts some hair and goes checks on the older son, and while I'm here fucking around on the internet. But great. But yeah, no, I feel you, man. I just got caught up from the vacation, barely. Took 2 weeks.
I'm in trouble. I gotta get my ass in gear here. But
well, go to bed, man. Plug your channel. Happy birthday. Tell everyone where they can find you and anything you got coming up.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you can find me at youtube.com/overlorddvd. That's my main channel. Please come and subscribe. We're growing and doing some great things. Great new stuff coming up soon. I've also got the Harvey Zone, and today I posted my birthday live stream over there, and I've downloaded a whole bunch more of my other neglected live streams. So I'm pretty much thinking that I'm going to post a live stream every single day on the Harvey Zone until I'm caught up again. So I apologize for all of that, but as you can see, I'm busy. But now that I've got them, I've got space on my computer to download these things in the first place and then upload them. You can expect to see a lot more of our old Inquisitions and Friday Night Frolics over there as well. Patreon.com/Doomcock and Subscribestar.com/Doomcock as well. Thank you, Gary. It was great fun, man. Had a blast, and good to see you again.
Good to see you too, my friend. Happy late birthday again. Go get some sleep. Get back to work. Looking forward to the stuff, and I'll see you next Sunday.
All right, brother. I'll see you later. Have a good one. And we'll talk about Exozone too.
Yes, we have to. There's so much shit going on.
I know it, man. We got to.
All right. Take care, brother.
Bye-bye, dude.
Bye-bye. All right. Back to the super chats. Back to the super chats here. Let's share some screen here. Is that it? There we go. There we go. We can have that up there while I read the super chats. Where was I? Amateur Ant. Is that it for $5? I'm still waiting for them to make the Punisher punish some male butthole soon. Who cares what Pedowood does anymore? Not me. He's done. He'd just rather watch YouTube, which is fine. We can provide alternate entertainment. I am okay with that. You can see us clowning them as an alternative. It really is. Josiah Finch for $4.99. Hail Gary and Doomcock. I watched Vineland Saga recently. It was awesome, but I tried Time Bandits today and that wasn't my thing. The plot was too slow. Well, I mean, it's an old movie. I loved it. I fucking love that movie to death. But if you're younger, it might just be an old movie to you, which I understand. Aurora Uplinks for $5. The trouble with mystery boxes is there isn't a story in the box. There's only a few words to question a question. A few words to answer a question. A movie is supposed to be a story. Well, in my unreleased Falcon and Winter Soldier review, which may or may not see the light of day, it probably will. I talk about like how it's the best example of, and I talked about this on live streams before, of show not tell. Right. So it was, did we see any of the camps that they were talking about? No, they told us about it. Do we know what Carly's motivation or plan was? No, they just told us about it. They didn't show us shit. Did they show us her backstory and how she got the way she was? No, they told us about it. They just sat there and told you shit. With Isaiah, did they show you anything? No, they told you about it. Unpopular movie opinions for $5. Do you know how long it took for me to realize that his name isn't Josh Sweden? Oh, really? It's Joss Whedon. You thought it was Josh Sweden. A lot of people think it's Josh. This name is Jackman for $6.90. Manga and anime irks me to the wrong way. It's choppy. The stories are predictable and corny. And it's soy infected. Other media is a form of capitulation. Wow. Okay. I mean, I don't read enough to know that, but everybody's opinions are allowed here. It's okay. Aurora Uplinks. There might be some people who disagree with you vehemently, but I can't say I know enough to do that. Admittedly, mystery boxes are cool and I love opening them, but a really great film should be a very elegant story with optional mystery boxes hidden. Twilight Zone, I guess technically could be a mystery box show. Yes. But the key there is the gimmick. All JJ has the gimmick. You can use whatever gimmick you want if you're an elegant talented writer, because that will be the thing that people remember. If you guys want great anti-woke radio comedy, check out Firesign Theater. Also, happy B-Day Doomcock. I never heard of Firesign Theater. I don't do radio much anymore. Fake name for $5. I got YouTube. I got podcasts. If they gender swap or race swap Gandalf, will you still watch? Harley Rogers for $20. Well, they technically can. But I mean, he's not Gandalf. Gandalf didn't come around until he became a wizard. But they can, in a way. Adrian Alvarez for $49.99. Hi, Nerdrotic. What's a better show to watch, Mandalorian or WandaVision? Because apparently WandaVision is better than Mando. No, WandaVision is not better than Mando. No, I'm not a big fan of Mando, but Mando's better than WandaVision for sure. Thank you for the $49.99. I appreciate that. Hail, guys, would love for you two to do a team DVD commentary on Colossus, the Forbidden Project, the Andromeda Strain, or the original Planet of the Apes. I would be down to teaming up with Doomcock and doing a DVD commentary on Planet of the Apes anytime. Stephen Otten for $5, a super, or any of those movies, really, a super chat in honor of Doomcock's birthday, a very, very soon to be a worldwide holiday. Keep the faith and keep fighting the good fight. Yeah, you got to keep the faith and you got to stay true. All right, over to the donation side. Hardwick Benthau for $1. Have you seen Lois and Clark? The first few seasons are great, goofy, silly, Silver Age fun, but the last two series turn to serious and soap opera. Terry Hatcher was great as Lois, as was Lane Smith as Elvis obsessed Perry White. Yes, I thought the first few seasons were. I think there's only 4, right? 4 or 5, maybe. When Terry Hatcher got her haircut, it all went downhill. Now, Steel City Exile for $10. Gary, an offhand comment that you made on a live stream weeks ago inspired an encounter in the Shadowrunner RPG that I run. No way. Today, the players encountered wizards in a drug deal gone bad. Oh, that is awesome. Thanks. I'll take credit for that one. Wizards and a drug deal gone bad. Hardwick Benthau for $1. Before doing another Exozone, you all need to watch the Art Alien TV's videos. He searches NASA roving images for evidence of life on Mars and has made some extremely convincing finds. There are skulls, army tanks, and petrified bear up there. I've seen a lot of that stuff. I am very much into that hobby. I don't talk about it. I mean, I save it for the Exozone now, but I'm very much into that hobby. Memento. Damn it. 1 second. Working with 2 keyboards here. Okay, where was I? There we go. Hit refresh again. I like how a lot of things in the fandom menace and CG came from war campaign like Hail. People still do. Amateur Ant for $5. Hail didn't come from war campaign. Hate to break that to you. Hail came from Doomcock. That's the first place I saw it. And I wasn't rolling around war campaign when they started, but I've been around CG forever. Maybe it did start there. I thought it started in Doomcock. I don't know. I was Armature Ant. I was in Englantine's live streams back, and I was in when Diversity in Comics did live streams. I was around before Ethan showed up. I was in the chats though. I was just in the chats watching. I wasn't like actively participating. I'd send a super chat once in a while, but I was there. The Doug Ertz days, the Captain Cummings days, I was there. Aurora Uplinks for $2. Hippies tried communism. They gave it up quickly. They did. Aurora Uplinks for $2. Admittedly, that was in the 60s and 70s with communes. All right. I don't know. When did war campaigns start? Oh, I don't care. Just like they can't make a good Dr. Doom, he is too complex for Hollywood to wrap their little, I'll add that in there, Black Lotus 30, little heads around. Yes, he's far too complex to wrap their heads around. He is a dictator that is loved by his people, and he's a villain. Really wants that Sue Storm. Really hates that Reed Richards. And he's a fucking awesome villain, and Darth Vader is partially based on him. V Burn for $5. Sorry, but my government makes your movies shows so sorry, my government makes your movies and shows so terrible. From Shanghai with love. Oh, you don't have to listen. By the way, according to my analytics, 40% out of you out there are not subscribed. And maybe today is the day I earned your subscription. No, according to my analytics, I have a lot of viewers in China that go through the website, because the website showed me I had a lot of people who watch in China. By the way, glad you're watching. There's a definite difference between a government and its people. You are more than welcome here. We're happy to have you. And free Hong Kong. Tolkien always also had the Haradrim that swarthy men from the South. Yes, they did. It's already there, and they complain about it. They complain about that shit. But trust me. And that's actually brought up almost as much as orcs. Uzdrathek, Aurora Uplinks for $10 for both of you. I'm sorry, I missed that one. Sorry. You know what would be a fun Star Wars cartoon where they made a series about Bothan spies? Well, they did, but they didn't really put in the Bothan spies who go around stealing things and sneaking around Imperial bases to see what they can see. Okay, that'd be cool. I'm so fucking sick of Star Wars, though. I'd love to see nothing for a little while. Maybe take a break. I would turn the spigot off for a while, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, take a breath, and think about where you're going to go for the future. I know Favreau is there and Filoni, but think about what you're really producing. Let's really think about this. Let's take our fanboy hats off. They're just repurposing shit. Mandalorian is a repurposed thing. It's just a Boba Fett show with the baby Yoda, which is just a derivative of a repurposed thing. It's nothing fucking new. This is a giant universe that you can create. Look what they did with the EU. Or sell it. Just fucking sell it. I don't give a shit what they do with it. As long as Pablo Hidalgo's there, as long as Kathleen Kennedy's there, I don't give a shit. Minion, thank you for the cupper. I appreciate it. got the frag for $5. Just rewatch Tlor Extended Trilogy. They could try, but no matter how bad they F up, this new series will always have the original masterpieces. Hell, that's right. Hail, Gary, and my liege. The Vorlons of B5 have a saying: understanding is a three-edged sword. Your side, my side, and the truth. The my truth of the SJW is a wet noodle boiled to a pot of lies. Yeah, my truth. When you start hearing shit like my truth, or you start hearing stuff, when you start hearing SJW language, if it quacks like a duck and it looks like a duck, it's a fucking SJW. Tolkien also, I read that one. And I read that one. So that, I know there's one I missed. Give me just a second. God dang it. I know it was here. Somebody asked me what my favorite Silmarillion story was. Okay, here it is. What was your favorite story in the Silmarillion? I liked Beren and Luthien a lot. It was like a more hardcore version of Aragon and Arwen. Yes. That's what it was supposed to be. And they actually told that story in the book and in the radio show, and they kind of told it in the movie. She died. That was it. The Fall of Gondolin. All right, we're going to wrap things up. I got to go. I got to call my wife before she goes to bed. And that was a fun show. It was a fun show. Let me refresh this again. I'm getting a little loopy and lightheaded too. So I always forget my bottle of water. I need to bring my bottle of water. I need to hydrate. It's good for you. Sarah B, thank you for the $5 on the donation side. I appreciate it. Says, Hail Gary. Sharon Carter, aka Power Napper, because whenever she was on the screen, I turned narcoleptic. Says Rocky's. Yeah, she's got a rock. You know, she was cute and they made her fucking annoying. Like absolutely annoying. That pissed me off as much as Alex Kurtzman making Rebecca Romaine annoying. Hugo, I read that one. Message for Doomcock. Okay, we're wrapping things up. Thank you to the Modrotics. Love you guys. It's a thankful job, and I appreciate everything you do. Big shout out to Eric K, who he coordinates. He's assigned as the head Modrotic, and he does all the coordinating, and he is fucking great. The best. I got the best mods, got the best audience. I am grateful for you guys every day. Thank you for all the super chats and donations and keeping the lights on. I am grateful that I had Doomcock on my channel for a great show. I am grateful for everyone who has supported this channel over the years. And, you know, people come and go. YouTubers come and go. It's the circle of life here. It's the way things go. But through it all, some of us, most of us, have kept our eye on the prize and not messed around with stuff that doesn't involve us or shouldn't involve us. If I responded to everything I was accused of, It would just be a boring show. I'm here to entertain you as much as I can. And that's it. Have a few laughs, have some at my expense. It's all good. It's all good. And every day I wake up and I get to do this. It's the power of like flipping shit around. So when going on 7 years ago, I was at a pretty low point in my life. And I had to restart things. I had to eat fucking tons of crow, humble pie, whatever you want to call it. I had to do all that shit. And I had to go back to work in a field I thought I had left behind. This is after running a comic shop and shit. And I had to go back there damn near at minimum wage at a job I was overqualified for. I had managed auto shops and I worked in I'm blanking on the name. Why am I O'Reilly's Auto Parts. That's where I had to start out. So I went from comic shop to O'Reilly's Auto Parts because I had to rebuild my life from the fucking ground up. And I did it. And I did it. And I didn't accomplish that by whining about shit all the time. I wasn't happy all the time. As a matter of fact, I wasn't happy the first year. It was pretty fucking miserable, but I made it miserable until I started realizing that, at least I have this skill and I can do this job and make money. It's not where I want to be. And I got to stop blaming everybody else and everything else for my problems. When I started looking at the mirror and saying, wow, it was fucking me the whole time. I was a dick. And it's freeing after that, to be honest with you. It's like a giant weight off your shoulders, And a lot of people got pissed on the way, lost a lot of friends. That's the way it goes. I'm not happy about it, but it happened. And I was able to, through no planning, just some hobby, I got this channel started happening because I'm just a fan. Again, I am a fan. Despite all that, despite all the shit that happened at the comic shop, my relapse, selling it, being bitter with Diamond, being bitter with the guy who, sold me the shop. And again, most of that was my fault, to be honest with you. And being bitter about my lot in life, I still was buying comic books, going to movies because I love this shit, because I actually care about it. So everybody's got their own motivation for what they're doing for their own individual channel. And that's what we are as individuals. Sometimes individuals will get in arguments, get in disagreements, melt down. And throughout all that, we need to remain focused. I need to remain focused. And that's what I'm going to do. And will continue to do. And have done since I started this. And it's been a hell of a lot of fun. And again, that's thanks to you, because I know for a fact the last thing anybody wants to do is hear a YouTuber bitch and moan about another YouTuber or about, fucking monetization or whatever. YouTuber problems. That's not what you come here for. I know that because you've told me and I listen. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I will see you. God, I don't know if I'm going to probably not going to do a nooner tomorrow. I got to make a video. So I will see you on the Real BBC with my good friend Az from Heel versus Babyface. Another thing I'm grateful for. The group of guys I'm surrounded with on Friday Night Tights. Odin, Comics Division. Quarter Black Garrett, Az. Jeremy. I know I'm forgetting people, but X-Ray Girl, Perry Chan. I love these people. They're good people. And last Friday, if you guys have not seen last Friday Night Tights, that was a one for the ages. We laughed our asses off, and it has the best Perry Chan opening I have seen. So in closing, we're going to go peek at this Bucketheads real quick. Okay. let's take a look at this. This looks pretty cool, man. It's a fan film. I'm getting Star Wars, but
We lost Sapphire 4! Sapphire 2, come in, Sapphire 2! Come in! We need more support out here! We're getting torn apart!
This is Death Star 2 Command. We copy you, Sapphire 1. No further units are available to assist. Ground forces in Gulf Sector need air support. This is immediate priority. Over.
Roger that, Command. Maker, save us. If I go, you should know where I'll be.
so what you got here, I don't know if that's an original song or not. Hopefully I'm not going to get hit for that. But yeah, it's basically the Battle of Endor, right? Different perspective. Kind of cool. Go check it out. It's called Bucketheads, and it's a whole season. Like, I don't know. This is awesome. Now, as you may or may not know, I am not the biggest fan of, I like fan films and stuff and fan fiction, but I think you should do your own original stuff. I think that it could be more lucrative for you, and we need original stuff, but that's cool. It's cool that exists. Hopefully Disney doesn't squash it down, and that tells you that people still love your franchise. So I'm not shitting on it. You know, it's fucking cool as hell. But you know, I think doing your own thing is probably more, again, advantageous, and it could be more financially lucrative. And it's easier now than it used to be. And God knows we need it. So thanks everyone again. And have a good night. I'm going to take off. Ciao.